Studio in Memphis, Tennessee. It's common sense conservative commentary from Todd Starnes.
That's us. That's right. I love this American ride.
I say, hello, America. Welcome, everybody. This is the Todd Starnes radio program. We are broadcasting from the free state of Tennessee. And ladies and gentlemen, the staff here on the show is a little busy today. I know they're out back cleaning muskets right now, getting ready for whatever is about to happen in Texas. Welcome to the show, and we're gonna have a lot of fun today. We got some great guests coming up and a lot of content to cover. But I'm telling you, we need to have a conversation about what's happening in the state of Texas, the Lone Star State. And we are on the verge of what was at least once unthinkable in this country. And the fact that we could once again be on the brink of a war of federal aggression. And we are heading towards a very dangerous point in American history, a crisis point, but one that needs to be had. Now, I will say this as a Tennessean. The reason why our state is called the volunteer state is because our people, the good people of Tennessee, from the hillbillies up in eastern Tennessee to the country music stars in Middle Tennessee, to all of us good people out here in the western part of the state, when somebody else in the country needs help, we are among the first to respond. And that's just who we are. It's sort of in our DNA as Southerners and as Tennesseans. And the good people of Texas know this. We've sent down some of our best and brightest to go and fight and to help Texas secure its freedom from the Mexicans. And I have no doubt that the Tennesseans will be there once again should the need arise. And ladies and gentlemen, that need could arise. We are on the verge of what could be another civil war in this country. And I know for a lot of people, it's sort of like, wow, there he goes again. That Todd Starnes, it's hyperbole USA over there. No, I don't think so. But it's not going to be a North versus South war. As a matter of fact, over 15 states have now aligned with the state of Texas. And some of them are not southern states. We're looking at Ohio, looking at South Dakota. Well, the rest of them are southerners. I was looking at the map last night, and it looks like the band's getting back together again, right? You've got Tennessee, you've got Georgia, Florida. I'm surprised that Mississippi and Alabama haven't jumped in just yet, but maybe during the course of this program, all of our great listeners in Mississippi and Alabama should be calling their state houses and demanding the governors issue statements aligning with Texas. Now, here's the very latest information. And by the way, Grace Baker just sending me a message, a tweet, if you will, that Kay Ivey has, the governor of Alabama, has already sent out a message saying that she is supporting Texas. So, all right, Tate Reeves, what say you? Crooked letter I, humpback I. What say you, Governor? So pick up the phone and call the Mississippi governor's office and say, Governor, where do you stand? And ladies and gentlemen, I want to ask you, where do you stand today? You may be living in a blue state, and your governor may not be on board with all of this, but where do you stand? Do you stand with Texas? Now, the question is, what happens next? Because right now we are in a standoff. We are, and it's not a matter of cooler heads prevailing. And I've heard some of the conservative talk radio hosts out there, they're saying, well, we just have to let cooler heads prevail. Well, there's no prevailing here. There's no cooler heads here. This is right versus wrong. This is black and white, ladies and gentlemen. This is not a subject that is up for debate anymore. The Constitution clearly states that the federal government must intervene when a state has been invaded. Governor Greg Abbott has declared an invasion He has declared that the federal government has violated its duties, its constitutional responsibilities, and he is therefore ordering the Texas National Guard to secure the border. I mean, it really is that simple. So now there is some speculation that Joe Biden will try and nationalize the Texas National Guard, federalize it. And if President Biden does that, then I believe we will be on the verge of a full-blown conflict. And I say that because do you really believe that the Texas National Guard is going to allow itself to be federalized? Do you believe that would happen? Do you believe that the good people of Texas would allow the federal government to come in and take over the National Guard? Do you think that Greg Abbott would allow that? Now, I want to say something here about Governor Abbott. My hat is off to this man. He has played this masterfully. He has been a very patient man over the course of the Biden administration for at least 2 years. The governor has been taking the steps necessary to get to where we are today. So the question is, will the federal government intervene? Will they try and stop Texas from defending its borders? And Texas is not just defending their borders, they're defending this nation. The good people of Texas are defending our national sovereignty because under the Biden administration, ladies and gentlemen, every state in this nation has become a border state. And we've been hearing from many of our listeners about the illegals that are showing up in towns and communities. There's a big story circulating on social media about the airport in Boston, Logan International, where illegals are now being housed in the airport. Do you understand that American citizens, taxpayers, we have to take off our shoes, we have to take off our belts, we have to go through TSA security checkpoints, we have to show identification, but the illegals just can show up at the airport and pitch a tent. One set of rules for the illegals, another set for us. This is going far beyond the replacement theory that Tucker Carlson and others have been advancing. This is a full-blown attack on who we are as Americans. Now, I want to direct your attention. There was a study done back in 2018 by Yale University. Not exactly Liberty University. It's a far leftist university. And Yale University in 2018, they determined that the number of illegal aliens that were living in the United States was actually much higher than originally estimated. At the time, they were saying about 10 million illegals were living in America. All right, this was back in 2018. Yale University concluded, based on their studies, that the number was actually north of 22 million illegals. This was the study from Yale. Now, look at where we are this year. We could be at least 50 million illegal aliens now living in America. That is an occupation. That is an army of people in this country, the vast majority of whom are very bad, very evil people who want to do us harm, who hate our country. They hate our way of life. And again, the Biden administration, if not counting on this massive army for votes in federal, state, and municipal elections, at the very least, those numbers are massive enough to skew congressional districts in the U.S. Census to give Democrats an edge in these congressional elections. Do you understand how all of these puzzle pieces are fitting together now? So my question is, what does Texas do? Do they stand their ground? Do they hold the line? But Todd, what happens if there's civil war? Well, if there's civil war, there's civil war. But without our border being sovereign, without a secure and sovereign, without a secure border, we have no sovereign nation. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's a bad situation the Democrats have put us in. but we have to respond. We have to hold the line. So what is your message to the good people of Texas? I'm curious to hear from you about your governors, because there are plenty of other Republican governors out there who have yet to weigh in. And this is a moment where we have to stand together and we have to send a very clear message to Congress, to the president, to the nation, that if push comes to shove, we will do what is necessary to secure that border. Our telephone number, 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. We're going to be taking your calls on this. By the way, we have a list of the governors up on our website who have already signed on, and those governors we salute. And one of them, Kristi Noem, by the way, hats off to Speaker Mike Johnson in the House of Representatives. He's out there, and he is defending the state of Texas as well. And, of course, right here in Tennessee, Governor Bill Lee sending out a message today that Tennessee will always stand with the good people of Texas. All right, got to take a break here again. Our number, 901-260-5926. This is the Todd Starnes Show.
He's not bitter. He's blessed. Todd Starnes.
What happened?
From the studio that brought you Sound of Freedom.
Nice to finally meet you, Kevin.
Where did everybody go?
They didn't go anywhere. You did.
How many worlds would you cross to get back to the one you love?
Imagine everything you have ever wanted. Where's my wife?
This December.
Work for me and get back with the woman that you love. I think the truth is that you're a liar. We'll find my Molly.
The Shift. Rated PG-13. May be inappropriate for children under 13. Exclusively in theaters now. Go to angel.com/radio.
Hello, Americans. I'm Todd Starnes. America is in a funk, and that's why I wrote our Daily Biscuit, Devotions with a Drawl. It's a collection of inspirational and encouraging and hilarious stories about exceptional Americans who are doing good deeds, stories about faith and family, God and country. I do have hope for America because my hope is not based on a political party. My hope is built on a much higher power. Our Daily Biscuit, it's a buttermilk biscuit for the soul. Hi, this is Todd Starnes, and I want to update you on my Calitrin journey. I'm still losing weight, I'm also sleeping a lot better, and I've got a lot more energy. Calitrin really is about more than just weight loss. Here's my good friend Elizabeth from Calitrin.
Yes, y'all, if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you're getting. So with Calitrin, make the small change to your daily routine. It's once a day, right at bedtime. It's going to help you rev up your metabolism so you can feel better, look better. You're going to be losing inches and losing pounds. And then, of course, it's great for the side benefits, too, like the sleep and the joint pain, the natural energy. So make that decision to do it for yourself today. Check out our website, toploss.com. We've got a big sale with $10 off every single bottle. It's at toploss.com, TOPLOSS.com, or call us 833-TOP-LOSS.
And be sure to use that discount code Todd.
Welcome to the Maya and Miguel Challenge. Meet Maya and the gang.
Oh, hi, I'm Maya.
Maya and her friends want you to get up and play, because it's always more fun to be active.
There's mountain biking, boating and fishing, mountain climbing and spelunking. Let's get started.
Get ready to take the Maya and Miguel Challenge.
Let's see.
Just go to letsmove.gov and look for Maya and Miguel. You'll find tons of fun activities that'll help keep you healthy and active. Muy activo. You can also check out healthy recipes to try with your family, play cool games, and get free downloads. So come hang out with Maya, Miguel, and the whole gang.
Go!
Remember, whether you play sports, run, dance, or jump in place, just get up and play at least an hour a day. And don't forget, eat healthy to be your best. Maya and Miguel will show you how at letsmove.gov. That's letsmove.gov. A message from the Ad Council and the Department of Health and Human Services.
Hi, we're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that our daughters have what they need to grow and learn. But that isn't the case for nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. that struggle with hunger.
Childhood hunger is a heartbreaking reality that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and provides it to families and children in need.
You can help kids in need in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
When you went car shopping, you meant business. You aced vehicle history searches and test drives. You out-salesmaned the salesman. Now you've got your wheels. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. With 401k tips and smart saving strategies, you'll have the info you need to get more for your future. Go to aceyourretirement.org, because when it comes to speeding past financial challenges, you're an ace. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt US Kids, and the Ad Council.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Good to have you with us. And by the way, our live show is now being broadcast on YouTube, and we're excited about that. I got a message from YouTube. We're already over 1 million viewers, and we're excited about that. Welcome, everybody. By the way, during the commercial break on YouTube, I actually dabble with the live show chat. So that's your opportunity. If you don't want to call in, you can join us on the chat over on YouTube and just look for my mugshot. So, and there you go. All right, let's get to the phones. Let's go to Germantown, Tennessee. KWAM, our flagship radio station, the official historian of the Todd Starnes radio show, our good buddy Murph. Hi, Murph. What's going on?
Hey, Dr. Starnes. Thanks for taking this call. I'm far, far away from a historian, but it seems like this Texas situation and not being privy to the Supreme Court rulings word for word, this falls into the 10th Amendment. I'm sure there's some naturalization and immigration federal regulations, but that's Texas territory. Second thing, this is very similar to Andrew Jackson back in, I believe, in the early 1830s when John Jay and the Supreme Court ruled. I think, if memory serves, it had to do with the National Bank. And President Jackson said, literally, to paraphrase, which is a contradiction, Jay made the ruling, now let him try to enforce it. And I was, in case you're, I don't know, this is kind of on the sideline of this, in case you're not aware, January 21st, 2024, was the 100th anniversary of the death of Vladimir Ilyich Lenin. And one of that monster's favorite philosophic quotes was, morality is completely subordinate to class struggle. And if you can recall your teachings and learnings of a certain political philosophy in this country that has morphed into a class struggle, Lenin's phrase is fitting into this puzzle almost verbatim.
Murph, I mean, you've taught history in high school for many years. You're a student of history, and when you see what's happening, we talk about putting the puzzle pieces together on this show. You know, big picture, we're not dealing with leftists and progressives. We're dealing with communists, and we are looking at a takeover of the country literally from within. And this occupation, I mean, the Yale study back in 2018, 22 million illegals, probably double that by now. How do you fight back against something like that?
Well, as long as the American voter and the American citizen remains ignorant and doesn't follow up on educating himself or herself, it's going to continue because a certain political philosophy in this country, which is currently occupying the chief executive and the United States Senate, thrives on that sort of ignorance.
How do you see this playing out? How do you see this playing out, Murph, on the border? There are now calls from some Democrats for Biden to come in and federalize the Texas National Guard. Do you see that happening?
I don't. That's a difficult call because we're somewhere close to a national emergency, but at the same time we're not. So the president, to call in the National Guard and federalize this, there must be something fairly close to a declaration of war. And that has not happened. I just hope I think the majority of the country hopes Governor Abbott stands his ground and keeps doing that. And I don't know what excuse you could have to federalize the National Guard of the state of Texas when there is no, what do you want to say, war threat or threat of insurrection or threat of revolution or protection of national sovereignty. This is a 10th Amendment situation.
And again, the 10th Amendment, ladies and gentlemen, this makes very clear any powers that are not specifically given to the federal government are reserved to those respective states or to the people at large.
Exactly. And I don't know what it's going to take for people to see what's going on in the state of Texas. And, move the immigrants to Amy Claire Barrett's house or Judge Roberts' house. Let them camp out on their front yard for a while.
Well, I'm afraid some of her Rhodes College education is starting to influence her decision-making skills up at the Supreme Court. Murph, we've got to skedaddle, sir, because we are super late for a break. But I do appreciate. I want you to give us a call back, Murph, because you're a wealth of knowledge here. And again, we are dealing with some unprecedented moments in American history. Murph, appreciate that call. We've got Linda coming up. Also, the phone lines are open. Our telephone number, 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. Paul Shanklin says we might want to suggest names for what's happening down there. Shanklin says mine is Slow the Flow. We need to stop the flow, but give us a call, ladies and gentlemen. Do you stand with Texas? How far should Greg Abbott go here? 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. Hang tight, everybody. This is The Todd Starnes Show.
The odds of having a boy
1 in 2.
who grows up loving baseball
1 in 6.
and then makes the varsity team,
1 in 20.
which earns him a college scholarship
1 in 2,500.
that gets him a contract in the minors,
1 in 3,700.
which leads to starting shortstop in the majors.
1 in 290,000.
The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism
1 in 150. You know the odds. Now learn the signs. Go to autismspeaks.org. Autism Speaks. It's time to listen. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
When it comes to vaping, the truth can get clouded. So let's make it clear. Vaping is not safe for youth.
Because vaping can put microscopic particles into your lungs.
And dangerous things like metals into your body.
And nicotine, which can harm a person's brain development through their mid-20s.
With appealing flavors, high nicotine levels, and lots of promotion on social media,
many kids think vaping is harmless, but it's not.
So talk to your kids about the risks of vaping.
Because when you talk, they hear you.
Learn more at underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling on it.
The dad joke. Corny, groan-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
What did the buffalo say when he dropped his son off for school? Bye, son.
So take a moment to make your kid laugh, because dad jokes rule. Make your kid laugh today. Go to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
It is an uncertain time for us all, but kids in foster care have always known an uncertain future. Now, more than ever, we see what it means to truly connect with others in a way we didn't fully appreciate through the simple, little things we do. It's those little things that also make a big difference to a kid in foster care, to help them become all they were meant to be. During a time when taking care of each other is by far most important, Youth Villages Foster Care asks that you consider opening your home to these young people who are without one. To keep us all safe and healthy during this time, Youth Villages is offering virtual presentations with information to address your thoughts and questions about fostering a child. Learn how you can become a foster parent at youthvillages.org/foster. Youth Villages. Foster a little hope. Brought to you by Youth Villages in cooperation with this station and the Tennessee Association of Broadcasters.
You're not wired to have a response to this sound. You're neutral to it. You hear it every time you finish a meal and never feel anything. But if we were able to associate this sound with a new stimulus, save the food, we've achieved pulling a natural response from you. Save the food. Why are we doing this, you may ask? Save the food. Because this ad is trying to change your after-meal behavior through brainwashing. Because food waste costs the average family $1,500 a year. Save the food, cha-ching, and $1,500 extra bucks is like getting a pay raise. Save the food, cha-ching, you're promoted, which could pay for your child's braces. Save the food, cha-ching, you're promoted.
Check out my braces.
So when you hear this sound, rethink your behavior. Cook it, store it, share it. Just don't waste it. For tips and recipes, visit savethefood.com. Brought to you by NRDC and the Ad Council.
And what you doing with your phone? Taking pictures?
No, I'm asking it questions.
Like what?
Hey, Bobo, do flowers have best friends?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that. Hey, follow me. I want to show you something. Look, flowers do have best friends.
Whoa.
Some answers can only be found in nature. Discover the unsearchable. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a trail near you. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable. But how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
I'm engrossed in something. I don't know what I was doing. Lydia comes in, Dylan, and she's stealth. And I turn around, and it somewhat startled me. The people watching us on the YouTube saw me jump. My vertical is about a foot. I was up out of the chair.
I thought you saw a spider.
It was terrible.
She's sneaky.
Very stealth.
She's stealthy.
Stealth, Lydia, stealth. All I can tell you is I do need to change my name to LeBron Stearns. This white guy can jump. I'm just saying.
Put him in, coach.
That's it. Put me in, coach. All right. By the way, in college, I did try out for basketball. Our basketball team had not won for a couple of years, like a single game. And so the coach was desperate. He smoked a cigar this was back in the early 90s. And I figured, what the heck? I was in good shape, so I went out for the team. The coach actually stopped the tryout. I had just gone down the court once, and he called me over, and he said that I was the worst basketball player he had ever seen.
Oh, no.
And he said but he said, I can't help but laugh. He says, I haven't laughed so hard. So he says, how do you feel about being the mascot? So I got to be Irby.
You could be the announcer for the team, Todd.
There you
go.
There you go. All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. Let's go to beautiful Ocala, Florida. Linda is hanging out with us on our great affiliate there, 96.3 FM. Hi, Linda. What's on your mind today?
I am so happy I live in Marion County and not in Texas. I feel so bad for those people. And I'm proud that our governor stands with Texas.
Yes, ma'am, he does. Governor DeSantis putting out a statement yesterday, a video statement, and he is rock solid behind Governor Greg Abbott, and I was glad to see that happen.
Yes, I have compassion for the people that are trying to come to America, but they need to do it legally.
You know, Linda, years ago, I took a call back when I was at Fox from a lady. She was probably in her 50s, and she was living with her elderly mother. They owned a ranch right along the border in Arizona. And she told me that she had to go to bed with a shotgun because in the morning she would wake up, and she said it was not unusual to find, 4 or 5 illegals sleeping in her garage. People that had crossed. That's just unacceptable for people to have to live like that in America.
No, that's torture.
It is.
That would be torture.
Linda, if you had a chance to talk to the governor of Texas, what would you tell the governor?
Governor Abbott, I stand with you, and I pray for you and your citizens every day. I pray for all of the citizens in the United States and other countries.
Good for you. You sound like a great lady. And Linda, we're excited. We've been getting calls from Ocala, the radio station there, and we're glad that you guys are hanging out with us Monday through Friday.
It's on all day.
Wonderful. Linda, do you have a copy of my last book, Our Daily Biscuit, Devotions with a Drawl?
No, I don't.
Well, Linda, we're going to take care of that. We're going to fix that. So we're going to put you on hold, Linda. If that's okay, can I send you a copy of the book?
Oh, I would love it.
Wonderful. All right, we're going to put you on hold, and Lydia's going to get your information, and I'm going to send you a copy of my latest book, Our Daily Biscuit, Devotions with a Draw. You're going to love it. It's a lot of fun. Folks, by the way, the new book comes out in March. We are excited about this. Already, the interviews are lining up. We're going to be launching the book on Governor Huckabee's show. We're going to be doing a big party, and you're going to have a chance to win some tickets to this party here in the Memphis area. And we're excited about it. It's called Twilight's Last Gleaming, Can America Be Saved? And honestly, with what's happening at the border right now, this is for such a time as this book. So you can pre-order a copy now if you would like, and we would encourage that. Just go to Amazon or wherever you get your books. All right, let's get right back to the phones here. Let's talk to Stephen in Maine, listening to us on WLOB. That's Ray Richardson country. Hi, Stephen. What's on your mind?
I just wanted to let you know that it's been a while that I've talked with you, but you are still the class act of daytime radio. There isn't anybody close to you, Todd. Nobody's close.
Well, thank you for that, Stephen.
Thank God we have you. That's for sure.
Well, we try to have a good time on this program, Stephen, and there's a lot of crazy stuff happening, and you've got to be able to step back and find some humor in it all, even if it's gallows humor.
Well, I totally agree, and I think you'll find out that the viewership that you have, they are totally behind you. You're not going to get too many calls from people that don't want to support Texas.
Well, I hope you're right.
This should have been done a long time ago, Todd.
Yes, sir.
It really should have.
Stephen,
either way, I consider it a privilege just to get to talk to you, but You are the class of active daytime radio. There's nobody close to you.
Well, Stephen, thank you for that, and I really appreciate that. We do it because we have a great team here, and we love hanging out with you good folks, and we're all in this together. And, Stephen, you give us a holler back. Don't wait so long, Stephen. That's the problem I got with you. You've waited so long.
Well, sometimes it's hard to get a hold of you, Todd.
I know. Well, Stephen, all right, you got through. I want you to give us a call back one of these days, and you got to tell Ray Richardson I said hello. Can you do that for me?
I can do that for you.
All right. Well, Ray's good people, and Stephen, you are too. Thank you for hanging out with us today. We love our friends up in Maine. And by the way, before people ask, because I know how you folks are, yes, we are coming to Maine, and we are. But I'm telling you, we're going to have to get some good restaurant suggestions, because I've got to have one of the great lobsters that you guys have up there. All right, let's go to Lonnie in Maine. WLOB wants to weigh in on the border situation. Hi, Lonnie. What you got for us?
Hey, good afternoon, Todd. Yeah, I just calling from up here in Maine, and I just wanted to let you know that I stand behind Governor Abbott, even though I'm in a blue state, and I just I listen to your show almost every day, and it really makes me think. And boy, we're headed down the wrong road. We got to get rid of this administration. It's the America I grew up. I'm 50 years old. The America I grew up in almost seems like it doesn't exist anymore, and I fear for my kids and my grandchildren.
It's, Lonnie, I think we're heading in the right direction, to be honest with you. I think there is. This country has been long overdue for a course correction, and it may very well be that Texas leads the way. And if we can stand up here, and this is going to be the hard part, because Governor Abbott is going to be faced, and I would encourage you, folks, if you're a person of faith, I would put Governor Abbott on your prayer list, because Lonnie, he's going to have to make some very difficult decisions that will go down in the history books. But they are the decisions that have to be made.
I couldn't agree with you more, Todd. I'll definitely add him to my prayer list. And looking forward to when you come to Maine. And I would put in a little fried DeMillo's on the water, Commercial Street wall.
Tell me the name one more time, Lonnie.
DeMillo's Restaurant, floating restaurant.
DeMillo's. All right, I'm putting that down. I may have to stay there 2 days just to get a couple of more restaurants in the mix. So, Lonnie, appreciate that. And we'll be telling you more about the book signing in Portland coming up. And thank you for listening, Lonnie. Let's go to David in Georgia, WDUN. Hi, David. What's on your mind today?
Well, I'm enjoying your show. I have to explain, this is a humor in case there's a liberal listening and they get excited by the statement I'm making. But Governor Abbott, because of my combat skills and sniper ability, said, would I come to Texas and shoot Biden's army for $1,000 a head? And I had to turn him down. I told him I could only afford to pay $200 a head.
Okay. There you go, Dave.
Anyway.
No, I can see where the liberals would get a little triggered by that. So.
Yeah, probably. I don't get excited, but my own recommendation, having military experience, is Governor Abbott needs to go ahead and invite all these willing states to come on to Texas, bring their own place to sleep, and stack it in there right now. And
I'm with you, David. This is the moment. You've got all these states out there saying we've got your back. The governor needs to make the calls, start bringing in the state guards from all these other states, and we basically need to have a standing army down there to repel the invaders. I mean, it really is that simple.
Well, the governor is allowed to fill up the military bases with his own aircraft forces right now too. So, according to the Constitution, it's if he declares that first, he's got it.
David, appreciate that. Yeah, appreciate that call. We've got to skedaddle here for a break. But I will say this, ladies and gentlemen, we are a peaceful people. We don't want violence. We don't want bad things to happen. We don't want We don't want shots to be fired. We want a secure border. That's all we're asking for, and we should demand that. Without secure borders, we do not have a nation, ladies and gentlemen. It's that simple. So Joe Biden is either going to do his duty, he will either honor his oath of office, or the state of Texas will take matters into their own hands. Now, my question is, for all you folks listening to us in, for example, Lafayette, Louisiana, radio station KROF, our great affiliate down there, where's your governor? Where's the governor of Louisiana, a Republican? Why hasn't he signed on board to this? You know, one of the challenges, and honestly, I'm glad to see all these other governors, finally getting the courage to post a statement, but they should have done that yesterday. As soon as Greg Abbott issued the declaration of invasion, every Republican governor in America should have been sending out messages saying, we not only stand in solidarity, but we stand ready to send our troops, our state guards, to Texas to help stop the invasion. Because if we don't stop it in Texas, ladies and gentlemen, they're going to be coming to your neighborhoods. And we're talking about some very, very bad people, very nefarious people. All right, hang tight. We've got to take a break. Lines open, 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. We'll be right back.
Can't hear the whole show? Don't worry. Get the Toddcast and listen on your own time at ToddStarnes.com.
When you're working to protect and serve your community and country, you need a degree program that fits into your busy schedule. At Liberty University, you'll find just that. With 100% online program options and no set login times, you can advance your skills without sacrificing your commitments. Plus, we offer exclusive tuition rates and discounts to current and former service members, their spouses, and first responders. Learn more by texting DEGREE to 49595. That's DEGREE to 49595.
Since the pandemic, many Americans now say they would avoid a doctor or hospital unless it was a catastrophic situation. This is a problem, but the Wellness Company's Medical Emergency Kit provides a solution. This kit includes 8 life-saving medications, including amoxicillin, Z-Pak, and ivermectin, along with a guidebook for safe use. From tick bites to COVID to extreme bioterror events, you are covered. Did you know that almost 90% of pharmaceuticals are produced outside the U.S.? Will you have what your family needs when the next crisis hits? The Wellness Company and their doctors are medical professionals that you can trust, and their new medical emergency kits are the gold standard when it comes to keeping you safe and healthy. I have one for myself, and you should too. Go to twc.health/Starnes and grab your medical emergency kit right now. Don't wait until it's too late. Take control of your health today with the Wellness Company's medical emergency kit. That's twc.health/Starnes. Code STARNES saves you 10%. Why take chances?
America has a new choice for fair and balanced news. ToddStarnes.com. Journalism you can trust from some of the best reporters and opinion writers in the business. ToddStarnes.com takes you to the front lines of the culture war, defending faith, freedom, and your family. ToddStarnes.com also features exclusive interviews with America's top newsmakers like Mike Huckabee, Franklin Graham, and Newt Gingrich. Find out why millions of Americans read ToddStarnes.com every day. It's news you can trust. ToddStarnes.com.
Turn an ordinary day into a super fantastic family day at the all-new Brandon Falls, America's summertime destination. Bike your way through the heart of Delaware and meet the zany characters of Brandon Falls, like Pedo Peter.
Gather around, children. Let me smell your hair.
And after you've worked up an appetite, enjoy a south of the border taco at the Brandon Falls Bodega. Or for some lighter fare, try our gluten-free Kamala Ward salad, chock full of nuts.
Hey, Mom, let's go to Brandon Falls.
I'll go get the bicycles.
Whoa! And I'll get the first aid kit.
Fun for the whole family. Plan your trip to Brandon Falls today. Let's go to Brandon.
Yay!
Not paid for by the Delaware Department of Travel and Tourism.
It is an uncertain time for us all, but kids in foster care have always known an uncertain future. Now, more than ever, we appreciate a place to call home. Youth Villages Foster Care asks that you consider opening your home to these young people. To keep us all safe and healthy during this time, Youth Villages is offering virtual presentations to address your questions about fostering a child. Learn how you can foster a little hope at youthvillages.org/foster. Brought to you by Youth Villages in cooperation with this station and the Tennessee Association of Broadcasters.
Neil Armstrong waited 6 hours and 39 minutes to step onto the surface of the moon. Jackie Robinson waited 20 months to play his first game with the Brooklyn Dodgers. And even DiCaprio had to wait 22 years to win an Oscar. You can wait until your destination. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
This is Mitch McConnell, and I'd just like to say that I had no knowledge of the attempt to bribe Carrie Lake. I'd like to say that. I wish I could say that. Anyway, here's your host, Todd Starnes.
All right, thank you, Senator Turtle. Appreciate that. This Carrie Lake story is insane. And by the way, there's some reporting out there that the people back east that the former GOP chair in Arizona was talking about was the National Republican Senatorial Campaign. So if that happens, this is a huge scandal that's blowing up. Anyway, welcome back to the show. Our telephone number, 901-260-5926. Let's go to the phone lines. Robert, listening to us on WSIC in North Carolina. Hi, Robert. What's on your mind today?
Good afternoon. I wanted to weigh in on the topic that you've been talking about. I wanted to remind you of an incident that took place, the better part of 10 years ago now in southern Nevada. A gentleman by the name of Cliven Bundy, you may remember, stood down the federal government over BLM grazing, over issue with his grazing rights with the BLM. Do you remember that incident?
I do remember that incident. What? Yeah, let's get to the point here, Robert. We're running out of time.
Well, the point that I'm trying to make is that you're asking if the Texas government should stand down the federal government. I agree that he should, because I think that the federal government in this case is just being a big bully. And if as everyone knows, that all you have to do to stand up to a bully, all you have to do is stand up to the bullies.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Just like Cliven Bundy did.
No, I mean those. Go ahead, finish your thought.
I was just trying to say that, I was there at the time, and there was armed militia toe-to-toe with federal agents. I mean, they were toe-to-toe with one another, armed and ready to go, and the federal government backed down. And I think that this is what the Texas governor has to do, is just go toe-to-toe with the federal government.
Well, this is a lot bigger than what happened in Nevada, which was a horrible situation, no doubt about it. But this is a lot bigger than that. We're talking about the sovereignty of the United States of America. Robert, appreciate the call. We're talking about the sovereignty of the United States of America, ladies and gentlemen. This is no longer some sort of a laughing matter. This is a serious issue. We're either going to have a country or we're not. I mean, it really is that simple. Let's go to Frank in Georgia, WDUN. Hi, Frank. What say you?
Hey, Todd, enjoying your show. Hey, I understand you're coming to Gainesville on your book tour. You're going to be at Longstreet? Where are you going to be? I just left Longstreet.
Well, did you? Well, you had a good meal then, Frank. I'm surprised you're still awake. You should be napping right now.
Well, I wanted to listen to your show, and then I'm going to bed.
Good for you, Frank. Good for you. Look, yeah, we have not worked out all the details yet, but I can tell you I will be eating lunch there regardless.
Well, you can join our group of men. We meet every week. We call ourselves the STW group. That stands for Save. So we have a good time.
I love it. Anyway, tell me what it's. Well, Frank, you kind of faded out there. What does it stand for?
STW, Save the World.
I love that. All right. Well, you'll need to save me a spot at that table.
We'll do that. Hey, listen. I was just thinking. You know the War of Northern Aggression that took place in the 1800s.
Yes, sir, I do. I'm familiar.
A lot like that. The causes of that war are different from this problem, but the underlying principle is the same. It's states' rights. The causes were slavery, and this is immigration, but the underlying principle is states' rights. So I thought that parallel was kind of interesting.
Frank, you're spot on accurate. I mean, this is a states' rights issue, and the states have a right to protect their borders from invaders. I mean, it really is that simple. Frank, we've got a skedaddle, but thank you for calling in, and to look forward to joining you for lunch over at Long Street. By the way, that is a great restaurant in Gainesville, Georgia. I hope they're advertising on WDUN. If not, they should be. Let's go to Jim in Lakeland, Tennessee, listening to us on KWAM. Jim, you got about 45 seconds.
Okay, I support Governor Abbott to protect his people the best way he can, but it's too bad he can't build a wildlife refuge across that borderline and fill it with alligators and lions and tigers and rattlesnakes.
What? Well, I don't know. Are the alligators indigenous to the Rio Grande? Is that?
Well, they could survive in it, and if you flooded that river with them, I guarantee you'd be slowing some of them down.
I'm sure it would. I'm thinking of several very inappropriate jokes that could get me kicked off the radio, Jim, but
Yeah, don't do that.
No.
We need you too bad.
I'll do my best. All right, Jim, appreciate the suggestion. Jim from Lakeland, Tennessee, let's build a wildlife refuge on the border, filling it with carnivores. Well, there you go. All right, hang tight. Hour 2 coming up. We have some great guests along the way, plus your calls as well. If you're on hold, don't go anywhere. We're going to get to your calls. 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. This is the Todd Starnes Show.
It's really important that we take care of ourselves for our sake and the sake of our family. Taking Balance of Nature, I just feel better.
I'm active. My wife and I go to the gym 7 days a week. If the weather's nice like a day like this, I ride my bike. I've been taking Balance of Nature for the past 20 years. I won't give it up.
I take Balance of Nature because it makes me feel great. I really thought that they paid people to say that stuff. And then I tried it. I was surprised. Balance of Nature really was the game changer. I'm serious, it works.
Celebrate Christmas with us. Go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first order, plus a free fiber and spice supplement. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this exclusive holiday offer by using discount code TODD.
This is the story of a boy wizard whose name was Larry Smarter.
Larry, why weren't you in Professor Dinky Doodle's mythical creature classification class?
Larry wanted to go to college, so he visited knowhowtogo.org to find which classes he really needed.
You missed the lesson on telling dragons from dragonflies.
Right. I want to go to college, so I'm taking Algebra 2, Biology, and a foreign language.
Foreign language? You mean so you can talk to unicorns?
Well, not exactly. Unless they're French.
But Larry had no time for unicorns, or even for Miss Petunia Tootie's time-traveling tutorial, which met every other yesterday at 25 o'clock.
Sorry I'm late. My Snarkball game went into overtime.
And he knew knowhowtogo.org was way better than hoping for a Snarkball scholarship. So, while his friends all aced invisibility, when Larry finally got to college, they were nowhere to be seen.
Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation for Education, and the Ad Council.
Hello, Americans. I'm Todd Starnes. Stand by for news and commentary next.
Liberty University's K-12 online academy is the best of a homeschool, private school, and Bible-based education all rolled into one. With LUOA, you can take charge of your child's learning environment and create a structured yet flexible schedule that works for your family. Our qualified teachers are easily accessible for guidance and support along the way. And with new classes starting every Monday, it's never too late to make the switch to LUOA. To learn more, text LUOA to 88741. That's LUOA to 88741.
A Republican city councilman in an affluent Chicago suburb called out wealthy liberals who wanted to have a sanctuary city. Councilman Josh McBroom of Naperville offered to provide a sign-up sheet for liberals to house the illegals in their mansions. Councilman McBroom tells me Naperville is a deep blue, incredibly wealthy town. They recently voted for open borders, and many residents have signs on their front lawns saying no human is illegal. There is pressure on the Chicago suburbs to do their part to take care of the thousands of illegals who have been bused and flown to the Windy City, courtesy of Texas Governor Greg Abbott. In response, McBroom called on the rich white liberals to prove their virtue. But so far, not a single person has taken up the councilman's recommendations. Not in my backyard. That's what the rich pro-immigration liberals near Chicago are saying. I'm Todd Starnes.
The Todd Starnes Show begins in 4 minutes. The Todd Starnes Show begins in 2 minutes. The Todd Starnes Show begins in 1 minute.
University studio in Memphis, Tennessee. It's America's conservative blowtorch.
That's us. That's right. I love this American ride.
Todd Starnes.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hour 2 of The Big Show. Good to have you with us today. We are broadcasting from the free state of Tennessee, our flagship station, KWAM. And, man, we've got a lot going on this hour. Our good buddy, Dr. Peter McCullough, is going to drop by from the Wellness Company. He's got an update on this Disease X that the globalists are about to unleash on we the people. We're going to be talking to Dr. McCullough about that and how to protect our families and ourselves from whatever Disease X may be. Also, Congressman Barry Moore from Alabama is going to be here weighing in on the border crisis and what House Republicans are going to be doing about that. Also, I just want to say a very big hello to all of our great listeners in Ocala, Florida, listening to us on WOCA. That's 96.3 FM and 1370 AM. And that's all of Marion County and North Central Florida. So for today, WOCA listeners, if you call in and you get on the program, if you pass Miss Lydia's test, her quiz, to get on air, then we're going to hook you up with a Todd Starnes Show prize package today. So as we salute, and we like to salute and honor our great affiliates every now and again. Our telephone number is 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. Now, interesting in the world of journalism, there's been some sort of an earthquake in the world of journalism. The Los Angeles Times announcing this week they are going to lay off about 20% of their staff. Also, we are getting word now that Business Insider is laying off a lot of its staff. BuzzFeed getting ready to lay off its staff. And, of course, Sports Illustrated has completely gone belly up. This is insane what's going on. So I'm telling you, there is a shift right now in journalism and how people consume their news, how people get their news. And a lot of folks are waking up, and I credit talk radio for this. A lot of people now realize that it's a bunch of hooey, that when you read the Los Angeles Times, you're getting a leftist view of what's going on. When you watch CNN or even some of the other conservative networks, that's one of the reasons why Newsmax has grown by substantial numbers over the past 2 years. Because they report, you decide. That's how it's supposed to work. You know, it's interesting. The one thing we have not had to do, and, the advertising industry, it's got good days, good months, bad months. But we've got a terrific team here, some of the best money people in the business working for my company. We've never had to lay anybody off, ever. We've never had to do that. We take care of our staff. We take care of our workers. We expect everybody to work their butts off. We expect excellence in everything we do. And the reason why is because you expect it and you deserve it. You deserve the very best we can give you every single day, whether you're listening to this radio show or you're reading our website, you've got our newsletter, you're listening to our podcast. It's important that you guys get the very best, and our team works incredibly hard at that. We have the best people in the business working for this radio program and for my company, and we're honored. But the reason why people keep coming back is we're honest about it. People know that we're conservative. We come at things with a Christian conservative worldview, but we're never going to deceive you. We're going to be very open and honest. We're going to provide you both sides of the story and let you decide. That's what we do here. And we're going to keep doing it. And I believe that our numbers are going to continue to grow. We have about 2 million people a month that come to our website, ToddStarnes.com. We'd love to make that 3 million. So anyway, just some observations there from the broadcast industry about where things are going. All right. let's get back to what's happening at the border. This is the most important story of the day and the most important story of our lifetime. I want to play some audio from Senator Ted Cruz, the great Republican senator from Texas, on just how bad things are. Cut 14.
The son of a Cuban immigrant, damn it. I believe in legal immigration. But there's a right way to do it. You wait in line. And the dishonest reporting that says anyone who is concerned about what's happening, about murderers and rapists coming into this country, about gang members coming into this country, about Hamas and Hezbollah terrorists coming into this country, about little children being forcibly raped. I invite every one of you, come to the border and look in the eyes of a child that's been raped, because I've done that repeatedly. I brought my colleagues down there. And for reporters to dishonestly say, well, you're just afraid white people are going to be replaced by you Hispanics. Well, as a son of a Cuban immigrant, no, I'm not afraid of that. But I'm tired of our government allowing children to be brutalized.
And he's not wrong. It's a horrible situation what's happening, and not just at the border, but look at what happened in New Hampshire. We were talking to Chris Ryan yesterday from New Hampshire Today, and says that they've been decimated by the fentanyl crisis. That's all coming across the border. That's how bad it is. Just a few moments ago, we heard from Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida. Let's take a listen.
Biden is going after Texas, saying that they must remove fortifications from their border. They put wire, they put things to keep people out. Biden's saying you got to take that down to let people come in illegally, which is just crazy. And I remarked that if the Constitution was originally understood to mean that a state could not protect itself against an invasion, that the federal government could force a state to allow an invasion, the Constitution would have never been ratified in the first place. Texas would have never joined the Union when it did. And if you look at Federalist 46, which Daniel Horowitz pointed out, James Madison talks about situations where federal encroachment can be mitigated by state action. So you have Texas here that's holding its ground. They have every right to fortify the border vis-a-vis an invasion, and that's Article 1, Section 10 of the Constitution. So they're in the right. You also have a situation where liberal jurisdictions over many, many years have been sanctuary jurisdictions against enforcing federal immigration law. So you'll have somebody who's a criminal alien, they will not be given over to ICE, and they will deliberately act to frustrate the laws on the books, and somehow that's viewed as okay. You have Texas, who's acting to enforce the laws on the books, to ensure that they have a secure state and that we have a secure country. So all of this is just nonsense what Biden's doing. Texas has every right to stand its ground. In Florida, we've been sending people to help for many years now, because we understand it's not just a Texas issue, it's ultimately an American issue. And if we don't have sovereignty in this country, then we're not going to be a country anymore. So they have every right to hold their ground, to stay the course, and Florida will continue to be there helping out every step of the way.
All right, good for you, Governor DeSantis, and we appreciate you standing up for the United States Constitution. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Texas. Vicki is listening to us on our free KWAM app today. Vicki, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on how your governor has been leading the state so far.
I think he's doing a terrific job. And my thought was that Texas, I think from my remembrance, is Texas is the only state in the Union that has the right to secede from the Union, because we were an independent nation at one time.
You guys back in the day were a republic, the Republic of Texas. Now,
right.
So the Texas Tribune, which is a far leftist publication there, says that you guys are not allowed to secede from the Union, and they're calling that an old myth. But I believe that any state in the nation can secede if the federal government is not living up to its obligations under the Constitution. I believe that gives a state the right to pull out.
Well, that's my thought. So,
Vicki,
I
I'm
probably,
curious. What part of
go anywhere?
Vicki? What part of Texas do you live in?
I live in McKinney.
All right, in McKinney, Texas. I'm curious. What are people around town saying? If you have a chance to talk to folks, I mean, are people concerned about the border? What's happening at the border?
I really haven't spoken to anybody about it.
Well, Vicki, we appreciate you calling in, and I do believe that Texas does have a right to pull out of the union. If our government, and thank you for the call, if our government is not going to do what it's supposed to do, you get the heave-ho. All right, let's go to Ocala, Florida. Jim, listening to us on our great affiliate there. Hi, Jim. What's on your mind today?
Hey, Todd. How are you, sir?
Jim, I'm doing good. Thank you for asking.
Good. All right. Yeah, I just heard you on the line. I've been trying to search for a good conservative talk radio here. We just moved to Ocala, and I'm glad we found you.
Well, we are excited. We love it's a great station and great people, and we love hanging out noon to 3 Eastern, Jim. And I'm curious to get your take on what's happening right now in Texas on the border.
I love it. I fear that it was, I don't know, I'm hoping it's just not for political point, because it's been going on for 3 years.
Jim, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Jim, I was concerned about the same thing, but when I was looking at the timeline last night doing some show prep, and it looks to me like Greg Abbott has been very methodical. And this is not some sort of an off-the-cuff, we're going to do this today. It looks like this whole thing has been very well thought out, and he's basically been giving the federal government a long, long leash here. And now the governor is at the point where he has no choice but to declare an invasion. I think this was a brilliant strategy on his part. But you're right. If this turns out to be a stunt, it's over for the Republicans. It's over for Greg Abbott.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. And, you're right. I mean, as it pans out, it appears that it was thought out, and it was, he brought it to the brink to now where the Biden administration is going to they're going to do full exposure now, and it's going to be really interesting.
All right, Jim, great thoughts, great call. I want you to give us a holler back, but don't go anywhere. Because we want to send you a free copy of my book. We're going to send Jim a copy of Culture Jihad, How to Stop the Left from Killing a Nation, my last political book. And, Jim, welcome to the program, and we're excited to have so many good people in Ocala, Florida, listening to us today. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, going right to the phones, 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. This is the Todd Starnes Show.
Fighting Darth Brandon with truth, justice, and a Southern accent. It's Todd Starnes.
Hi, this is Todd Starnes, and I want to update you on my Calitrin journey. I'm still losing weight, I'm also sleeping a lot better, and I've got a lot more energy. Calitrin really is about more than just weight loss. Here's my good friend Elizabeth from Calitrin.
Yes, y'all, if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you're getting. So with Calitrin, make the small change to your daily routine. It's once a day, right at bedtime. It's going to help you rev up your metabolism so you can feel better, look better. You're going to be losing inches and losing pounds. And then, of course, it's great for the side benefits, too, like the sleep and the joint pain, the natural energy. So make that decision to do it for yourself today. Check out our website, toploss.com. We've got a big sale with $10 off every single bottle. It's at toploss.com, TOPLOSS.com, or call us 833-TOP-LOSS.
And be sure to use that discount code Todd. Well, our good friend Mike Lindell is back at it again. Hello, everybody. I'm Todd Starnes. Mike Lindell not only created the best pillow, but now he's created the best towel in the world. That's right. Mike Lindell found the best towel company right here in the USA. They have proprietary technology to create towels that feel soft but actually work. And they're all made with USA cotton. They come with the MyPillow 60-day money-back guarantee. Get this, folks. You're going to get a 6-piece set, 2 bath towels, 2 hand towels, 2 washcloths made with USA cotton, soft yet absorbent. Normally $109.99, now just $39.99. All you need to do is go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener special, and get deep discounts on all MyPillow products, including the towels. Just enter the promo code STARNS or call 800-839-8506 for these great radio specials. That's 800-839-8506. Use the promo code STARNS.
I'm from X, and we're talking to real smokers about quitting. Tell me when you smoke and why you smoke.
First thing I do in the morning is get some coffee and have a cigarette.
If I have a cup of coffee, I gotta have a cigarette.
As soon as I wake up.
Okay.
With coffee, after I eat, and in between snacks.
Okay.
When I'm bored.
Pretty much all the time.
Yeah.
Have you tried to quit?
I quit for 3 months, went out one night, bought a pack of cigarettes, and that was the end.
I've actually tried to quit cold turkey, and that's really hard.
You ever hear about stories like, and then he threw the pack out the window and he never smoked again?
Now, I've actually heard a guy throw a pack out the window, but he went to go buy another pack.
What would you do different?
Actually having a plan and thinking it through.
It's like you have to relearn yourself not to smoke, especially at times when you really know this is the time I have the cigarette, like in the morning after coffee.
You have to relearn how to live your life without a cigarette in your hand.
With the right plan, you can quit smoking. Free at becomeanx.org. X, a new way to think about quitting. Brought to you by X and the Ad Council.
How do you define strength? Is it physical? Or is it mental? Maybe it's both. Maybe it's whatever empowers a person to dig deeper, fight harder, and overcome obstacles that once seemed insurmountable. Discover how much stronger and more confident your children can be. Encourage them to participate in a sport when they go to high school.
This message presented by the Tennessee Secondary School Athletic Association and the Tennessee Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
There's a place to share the joy of your team winning it all, and a place to share a laugh about skiing and taking a fall. There's a place to share photos of pets, or singing in the choir, or the time you ate a pepper and your mouth was on fire. But we could all be better at sharing how we're feeling inside. 76% of employees have struggled with at least one issue that affected their mental health. When you share, you're not alone. Ask about your company's emotional health benefits. Visit heart.org/sharing. Brought to you by the American Heart Association.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
So our good buddy Mike Lindell and all of his staffers over at MyPillow, they want to, well, Mike sent me a note, and he said he wants to thank all of you folks for your continued support. They've been under the gun, even Fox News coming after them, and it's really unfortunate. But they want to say thank you, and they're doing something very cool for all of our great listeners. They're having an overstock clearance sale right now. Best prices you're ever going to see, but you have to use my promo code STARNS. And the best part about it, you get free shipping on your entire order. You know how this goes. You get a great price on something, and then the shipping is like 3 times as much as the product is. But Mike is giving us free shipping on our entire order. You're going to get 50% off MyPillow 2.0, and the brand new flannel sheets have just arrived. They're not going to last very long. You're going to also be able to get a 6-pack towel set for only $29.98. And again, free shipping on even the larger items like the mattresses and the mattress toppers. 100% made in the USA, on sale right now for as low as $99.99. You can go to mypillow.com/Starnes. That's mypillow.com/Starnes. Use my promo code Starnes, and you're going to get all the discounts and free shipping. Now, you can also give them a call. Write down the telephone number, 800-839-8506. That's 1-800-839-8506. And we're going to be able to get you some great MyPillow products. I got to get those flannel sheets. Those sound pretty comfy. All right, let's go to the phone lines. Donald in South Carolina listening to us on WDUN. Hi, Donald. What's on your mind?
Hi. Do you remember back about 20 years ago, Sheriff Joe Opile?
Oh, I remember from Maricopa County. Yeah, Sheriff Joe. Good guy.
Yeah. Remember what he did? He had the folks, the immigrants, put in tents. And he had a tent encampment down there until the federal government broke it up. But he would not let them come through Texas, and they were all housed in tents. Recall?
Go ahead, Donald. Get to your point.
Well, I was just going back in time. Many people are not aware of that.
Right. Okay, Donald, appreciate the call. Folks, got to get to the point. As soon as you hop on, we've got a lot of people wanting to weigh in, and we want to make sure we get to everybody's calls. Let's go to Cordova, Tennessee. The original Bill, the OG, KWAM, hanging out with us today. Hi, Bill. What's on your mind?
Hey, Todd. Good afternoon, and I guess it's afternoon now, and thanks for having me on. Two quick things. Personal thanks to Mike Lindell. He donated pillows for my foundation auction last year. Hoping he'll do that again if we need that. But also with Texas, I applaud Governor Abbott. He's doing absolutely the right thing. And I think you're right. I think this was strategized. I think he planned it out methodically. He knows what he's doing. I don't think it's deployed by the Republicans. And, I don't think anybody's going to get in trouble over this, as far as politics go. But I do think he's doing exactly what he needs to do. And Joe Biden is, they said his foreign policy has never been right. And I heard Secretary Blinken say the other day that he supported, talking about the border and everything, he was in support of all these people coming across the border or something to that effect. And I'm thinking, well, then it's got to be wrong because he's never been right.
Well, there you go, Bill. Hey, Bill, we got to run for our break, but I appreciate the call, and thanks for the kind words about Mike Lindell. Again, mypillow.com/Starnes, everybody, if you want to get yourself some great discounts. And again, flannel sheets. That's awesome. All right, we've got coming up our good friend Congressman Barry Moore. Steve in Camden, Tennessee wants to weigh in. He's watching us on YouTube, and you can do that as well. We broadcast live on YouTube and Rumble, also Facebook Live, so lots of ways for you to either watch us or you can listen to us on the radio. That's my favorite. I'm a big AM radio nerd, too. All right, got to run. 9:00.
It is with sound mind and body that I, James Fredericks III, after fighting with all direct family members for decades, leave my entire fortune of $32 million to the one friend I had in the end, the package delivery guy, Matt Songer.
Woohoo! Yeah! I had a feeling about this. I'm rich! Oh, this cannot be happening.
Actually, it's not happening.
What?
And it never will.
I don't get it.
There aren't even people here. That's just one of those murmuring sound effects.
Seriously?
Listen, if you want to have money in your future, don't rely on luck. Put $10 away each month. Cook once in a while instead of eating out.
Okay.
Pay down your high-interest credit cards.
Right.
Small changes today, big bucks tomorrow.
So, no inheritance?
No. Go to feedthepig.org for more free ideas.
Feed the pig!
unthinkable.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
And just to be clear, no inheritance, right?
180 over 111, and I had a stroke. I couldn't speak or walk.
150 over 90, and I had a stroke.
This is what high blood pressure sounds like. You might not feel its symptoms, but the results from a stroke are far from silent. Get back on your treatment plan or talk with your doctor to create a plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
Head to toe, everything's changed.
Brought to you by the American Stroke Association, American Medical Association, and the Ad Council.
Hi, it's Tori DeVito. In every family, small conversations can make a big impact. Like when my dad shared his experiences as an alcoholic.
Your honesty about that part of your life gave me a sense of integrity that I wanted to uphold in my own life.
I wanted you to know, from someone who's been in recovery more than 30 years now, that hard work is what creates success, not alcohol or other drugs. I said it a lot, and I'm glad you took it to heart.
Talk, they hear you. For more information, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
If you're talking, they will hear you.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how. And we tell them with honest conversations that let them know what we expect. Not just one time, but every chance we get. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. Kids not only need to know the dangers and how to avoid them, they need to hear it often from you. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be taken without a prescription and never shared with friends or family. It's dangerous and illegal. So talk with your kids and guide them through the challenges of growing up safe and healthy. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
So talk, they hear you. You can do it if you try. I'll be here to hear what's on your mind.
Kids want to share what's going on in their lives with the adults around them. Parents, grandparents, teachers, coaches, and more. They want to know you're listening, and they want to listen to you. They want your input and guidance, early and often, on all kinds of topics. When it comes to a serious subject like underage drinking, they want to know your expectations, as well as how and why, as a young person, they should avoid alcohol. How you talk about it will change as your child grows. But the important thing is to talk about it. Not just once for an hour when you think the time is right, but in 60 one-minute conversations and more that are part of your everyday talks. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
When you need me, I'll be by your side.
Jill, why don't you tell the class what you did this weekend?
Well, my dad and I went in search of some magical minnows and found a zillion of them in the stream from our lookout rock. Then my sister and I escaped from an evil slug king and went back to my super twig fort for safety. Then we told stories till it got dark, and the Big Dipper led us all the way home.
Wow. Where were you, Jill?
We went to the forest. It's not that far away.
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the Lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Now, the Racist Report with former President Barack Obama.
My fellow Americans, today the following things are now officially racist. Sweet tea, golf tees, 9 Supreme Court justices, and accidental shootings by police while arresting a violent felon. Thank you.
Be sure you're not ever offensive in word, thought, or deed. Stay on top of what is racist with the Racist Report.
All right. Thank you very much, President Obama. Always appreciate your insight into that. Welcome back to the Todd Starnes radio program. Happy to have you with us. By the way, some breaking news coming out of Washington. Peter Navarro, who used to work with the Trump administration, sentenced to 4 months in prison. What did he do? What did Peter Navarro do? Peter Navarro refused to testify before Nancy Pelosi's illegal January 6th committee. So I want you to understand the lay of the land here. And keep in mind, we've got Republicans in charge of the House of Representatives. Here's the deal. Why is Hunter Biden walking around a free man? He refused to testify, so why isn't he behind bars? This, ladies and gentlemen, has got to stop. I want to go to the Patriot Mobile Newsmaker line right now and say hello to our friend Congressman Barry Moore from Alabama. He's a member of the House Freedom Caucus and the House Judiciary Committee. Congressman, it doesn't make any sense, and a lot of people get frustrated when they see Peter Navarro going to prison, and yet Hunter Biden is walking around a free man right now.
It doesn't make any sense, but it's what we've come to expect from this DOJ and the weaponization of government going after American citizens, conservatives, school board parents, or pro-life Catholics. It is the same. When I toured the district, I did town halls, and the number one thing that people were concerned about was fear of the federal government and how it's being weaponized against U.S. citizens. And this recent NDAA, where we reauthorized FISA, this Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act that we just reauthorized. Of course, I voted against it. Many of my friends did. But the fact that Schumer was grinning about that and that Biden signed it before the sunset, and for Republicans to think that was a win for us, they're not on the same team I'm on, because all that did was allow the FBI to continue this weaponization and abuse of American citizens at taxpayer expense and at the expense of our liberty.
You know, we've been talking a lot about what's happening at the border. Governor Greg Abbott declaring an invasion and really throwing down the gauntlet and saying enough is enough. We understand that Governor Kay Ivey earlier today put out a statement saying that Alabama stands in solidarity. What's your reaction to what Governor Abbott's done?
He's doing exactly what he needs to do as a governor. He has to defend his state. He has to reclaim some of that liberty that the feds have seized in D.C. I mean, constantly the government take liberty with the Constitution. They take too much of our tax money and too much power from the states. And we have to, as states, this union of states, we have to start taking some of that power back. And Greg Abbott has every right, in my opinion, to do that. He has a responsibility to his citizens, and certainly I think he's within his authority to do it, Todd. Whether we like it or not, that man needs to put those barriers up and stop this invasion that's going to destroy not only his state, but many states that are connected, not only just connected, but even the states he's shipping these people to now. We all realize that this is a crisis. We have to put the brakes on it.
What I appreciate, and I guess I owe the governor an apology, because over the past couple of years, I think there's been a lot of frustration from people saying, why isn't the governor doing more? But, Congressman, looking back on it, he was clearly laying the groundwork. So this was not some sort of off-the-cuff thing here. This was very methodical, well played out. And honestly, the governor at this point, at this stage, after going through all of the official channels, he had no other choice but to do what he did.
Absolutely no choice, Todd. I think he had to do what he did. And like you said, he went through the channels. He did everything he could do. And finally, you got to draw a line in the sand and say, this is where it stops. And 302,000 people came into this country last month. And, it is a crisis that we have on the southern border. You and I have talked about this. We had Mayorkas in the Judiciary Committee, and he would sit there with a straight face and tell you, we have operational control of the southern border. As the video shows, thousands of people pouring across. Biden and the federal government are not doing their job. These governors have to step up. I think they're within their purview to do that. I'm glad he's trying to go through the correct channels, and we certainly support the Governor Abbott and any of these governors that want to secure their borders. I think they should do that immediately.
What happens next? Clearly, somebody has to blink, but if they don't blink, Congressman, I mean, you don't want to have to think about an armed conflict, but something's going to have to give here.
Yeah, and we hope it doesn't get to that. I hope that the Biden administration will not push this issue any further, because if they're paying attention, there is a mass of humanity that shut down Bud Light in this country and put Jason Aldean's song, "Try That in a Small Town," to number one. And when Oliver Anthony was talking about the rich men north of Richmond and how they don't care about the everyday American, I think there's a massive humanity that stands with Greg Abbott right now, and certainly a number of us in Congress do. 100% of the House Freedom Caucus and many other Republicans, I would say we say stand with Greg Abbott, stand with these governors who need to secure their borders, protect their citizens, do what they need to do what they're called to do and what they were elected to do.
Well, I'm from Tennessee, so we're always in it for the fight. So we'll be there, and we know good people of Alabama will be too. But this is we are really talking about a crisis point, in all seriousness, a crisis point in American history, where if the government comes in and the Democrats are saying that Biden needs to federalize the Texas National Guard, let's get real, Congressman. You and I both know that Greg Abbott and the good people of Texas will not allow that to happen.
Yeah, I agree. I think Greg and the good people of Texas, like you said, will take a stand, and he'll have members of his delegation from Texas standing with him, I'm sure, on Capitol Hill. And it is time, my friend. We have a crisis. This Remain in Mexico stuff that they did away with is poured across the border, taking our cell phones, our $800 a month, coming in this country. They're not taking our calls when the court dates come around. That's got to end. Greg Abbott's doing the right thing. We need to stand with him. Alabama's motto is we dare defend our rights. We need to dare defend Texas's rights, and all these states to stand and defend their borders. They've got a right to do that. They owe it to their citizens to do that. Who cares what Joe Biden says?
I love it. Congressman, well said. More importantly, and maybe this was the biggest issue in Alabama, how are you guys doing? Nick Saban retiring. Everybody doing okay there?
I'm an Auburn grad, so I'm doing
you don't
pretty
care.
well.
Okay, so you're doing good. You're doing great.
Yeah, I think there were a lot of Auburn people that are glad Todd, probably some Tennessee folks too. They're like, man, I'm glad Saban's gone. Look, he was a great coach, and no doubt he was one of the greatest of all times. And so those of us in the state who have to compete against him, the SEC may be a little weaker because of him leaving, but honestly, for us Auburn folks, we're a little relieved. He's been tough to deal with for the last few years.
Yes, he has, and we can say that on the volunteer side as well. All right, Congressman, we're going to leave it there. Always good talking to you.
Yes, sir. Take care, Todd.
All right, Congressman Barry Moore. I forgot he was an Auburn guy. Hugh Freeze down there, he's going to do well in the long run. Did a great job at Liberty University, by the way. All right, here's the deal. We are going to take a break. Going to the phone lines, our telephone number is 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. If you are listening to us on WOCA in Ocala, our great affiliate, folks, you call in, and we're going to hook you up with a Todd Stern Show prize package. Our way of saying thank you for being a great affiliate, and we're going to be doing this to all of our affiliates through the rest of the year. In the meantime, I have a message for all of us, Newsmax Plus. I have subscribed, and I love it. Newsmax Plus has all of the great programs, Greta, Greg Kelly, Eric Bowling, Rob Schmidt, plus a lot of history documentaries, a lot of movies, and folks, you're going to love it. You can watch Newsmax Plus on your home TV. You can also watch on your phone app. All you have to do is go to newsmaxplus.com. Free to start. That's right. Todd Stern Show listeners, you guys get an exclusive free trial offer. Go to newsmaxplus.com. That's newsmaxplus.com.
You're with Todd Starnes.
Everyone's goals for advancing their education look different. At Liberty University, we've helped thousands of students like you earn their dream degree. So no matter what your goal is, we can help you get there. With over 450 degrees from the associate to the doctoral level to choose from, most of which are 100% online, you'll find what you need to succeed. To discover which degree might be the best fit for you, text degree to 49595. That's degree to 49595.
For 10 years now, Patriot Mobile has been America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. And when I say only, trust me, they're the only one. And they have been great supporters of the Todd Stearns radio show. That's why I'm proud to partner with them. Patriot Mobile offers dependable nationwide coverage, giving you the ability to access all 3 major networks, which means you get the same coverage you've always been accustomed to without funding the left. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you're sending the message that you support free speech and religious freedom and the sanctity of life. And by the way, their 100% U.S.-based customer service team makes it easy to switch. You can keep your number, you keep your phone, or you can upgrade because they sell phones too. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's patriotmobile.com/Todd. You get free activation today with the offer code Todd. That's a $30 value. patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT, promo code Todd.
America has a new choice for fair and balanced news. ToddStarnes.com. Journalism you can trust from some of the best reporters and opinion writers in the business. ToddStarnes.com takes you to the front lines of the culture war, defending faith, freedom, and your family. ToddStarnes.com also features exclusive interviews with America's top newsmakers like Mike Huckabee, Franklin Graham, and Newt Gingrich. Find out why millions of Americans read ToddStarnes.com every day. It's news you can trust. ToddStarnes.com.
Hi, it's Tori DeVito. In every family, small conversations can make a big impact. I grew up on tour with my parents. Kind of different, but we bonded over music just like other families do over sports, camping, or other interests. And we talked. Little everyday conversations from silly to serious that built a foundation over time. Honest conversations, like when my dad shared his experiences as an alcoholic.
Your honesty about that part of your life gave me a sense of integrity that I wanted to uphold in my own life. And I was so grateful that you and Mom had become these sober, stable people who were always there for me.
I wanted you to know from someone who's been in recovery more than 30 years now that hard work is what creates success, not alcohol or other drugs, whether it's music or anything else. I said it a lot, and I'm glad you took it to heart.
Talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Wake up and text. Text and eat. Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi.
Oh, hey. Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time. Text and whatever. But when you get behind the wheel, give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Email from school about the incident today.
Scary.
You know, teachers like me, parents, we don't always know as much as you guys do about what's going on with other kids.
Half the time, it's rumors.
Yeah, but if you're ever concerned about a friend who's having trouble with alcohol, prescription drugs, anything, you need to tell an adult, someone you know and trust. That can be hard, but speaking up about a problem is what helping a friend is all about.
For more information, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
All right, good to have you back with us. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. There has been a lot of talk in the media over the past couple of weeks about something called Disease X. We know the globalists over at the World Economic Forum have been eaten up by this, and I figured there was no better person on the planet to explain what exactly is going on than our good friend from the Wellness Company. Again, the Wellness Company, twc.health/Starnes is the website. Use my promo code Starnes. They're going to save you 10% on your emergency medical kit. But I want to say hello to our good friend, the great Dr. Peter McCullough, who also happens to be the Chief Scientific Officer at the Wellness Company. Dr. McCullough, good to have you with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Dr. McCullough, there's let's talk about Disease X. Do we know at this point what Disease X is?
No, Disease X is not a real disease. It's a concept that those in these biological labs in this biodefense industry that they've been writing about for years. So basically, it's using gain-of-function research to make an existing virus or bacteria or fungi, make it more infectious and more lethal, and then try to make a vaccine or monoclonal antibodies or therapeutics to it. So it's a high-stakes biological threat research concept. And the predictions by the World Economic Forum is that there will be disease X, meaning one of these labs is going to break down, and we're going to have, just like with COVID, we're going to have another outbreak.
Yeah, the similarities, are you seeing them? Because a lot, I'm thinking to myself, wait a second, we've heard this story before.
Sure. With COVID-19, there were planning seminars back in 2012. DARPA, the research unit of the military, said they'll use messenger RNA vaccines to end pandemic in 60 days. That's still on their website today. That's from 2012. 2017, Johns Hopkins has a SPARS pandemic planning program where they invite all these leaders and they plan out a coronavirus epidemic. And then Event 201, turns out that was an operational meeting. They even have Avril Haines, who's our current director of national intelligence, and some U.S. senators involved. And they're planning a COVID epidemic in September of 2019. It's called Event 201. It's been filmed. You can actually watch it. So Disease X now is this next threat that's on the horizon. I think the difference is back with these things that I just mentioned with COVID-19, most of us weren't paying attention. I know I wasn't, but I'm paying attention now.
You're darn right. And Dr. McCullough, you've been out there from day one sounding the alarms on all of this. And now we know the evidence at this point, very overwhelming, that COVID was either intentionally released or accidentally released from one of these dangerous bio labs. Is anything being done to shut down these labs?
Nothing. In fact, all of the Disease X news that's come out of the World Economic Forum, the EcoHealth Alliance, the World Health Organization, none of it has mentioned improved safety or whether or not this should even be done. My personal view is I don't think this is worth it. This is not science for science sake. They haven't proven that they can, quote, get ahead of a pandemic this way. In fact, they're creating threats for the world.
If they're not going to shut them down, and I have no idea why they would not want to shut these things down, what can the rest of us do to protect ourselves and our families from whatever might be coming out of these things?
Wellness Company has emergency medical kits. They're aqua blue in color. They're basically a fairly extensive formulary to handle a whole variety of new threats. Now, it comes with a guidebook as well as telemedicine consultation, antibiotics to cover secondary forms of bronchitis and pneumonias after various viral infections, our direct antifungals, direct antivirals, and then, be able to handle certain threats like anthrax. That's all available in the emergency medical kit, and it's far less expensive than trying to go to an urgent care or ER if you get sick.
So you're going to be very proud of me here, Dr. McCullough. I'm recovering from what turned out to be a very bad case of bronchitis. Here in Memphis, everybody's getting sick. They call it the Memphis crud. So when I went to the doctor, they were like, okay, you've got a fever, you've got a cough. They came back in, dressed in these, hazmat suits.
Oh, no.
Did the COVID test, and, of course, no COVID. It turned out to be bronchitis. And they said, we're going to give you all these prescriptions. I literally brought my emergency medical kit with me, and I unzipped it, and I said, will any of these work? And they're like, wow, where did you get that? And so you're right. I saved a lot of money.
Yeah, it's true. You know what? I just had it, too. And interestingly, it's testing negative for COVID, for influenza, RSV. It's some type of bronchitis/pneumonia that's long-lasting, like productive phlegm for weeks and cough. My mom just had it in senior center, and you know what I did? I just knowing how bad it was for me, I had Mom on doxycycline, one of the antibiotics, and she really breezed through it, thank the Lord. And so, what I'm starting to think now? I think this is a version of this mycoplasma pneumonia that's macrolide resistant, the so-called Chinese pneumonia. It seems like it's behaving that way. So the next patient I have with it, I'm going to go ahead and try the empiric antibiotic approach because it really seemed to work.
Well, I had it 3 weeks ago. I was at the doctor and cleared it up pretty well. I mean, I wasn't able to talk. And so now, and you're right, they're saying, oh, this thing lasts a long time. And the problem in Memphis, and this is why the wellness kits are so important, is it's hard to go out and even get NyQuil or DayQuil right now because so many people are sick. But since I have the wellness company's emergency kit, I'm doing okay.
Yeah, it's true. It comes in handy. You get a bladder infection. Most women know when there's a bladder infection. You have the antibiotics there to handle it. Same thing with the yeast infection, bronchitis. You get, like say, a simple skin infection after a cut. All that you can handle yourself and avoid these clinic, urgent care, or ER visits. So it's really a lifesaver.
That's it. All right. Well, Dr. McCullough, we got to wrap it up. Great information. I know a lot of people are concerned about Disease X, and I think you've really answered some questions and really helped shape the conversation. And again, folks, twc.health/Starnes if you want to get your own emergency medical kit, and I would encourage you to do that. Dr. McCullough, always great hearing from you.
Thank you.
All right. Good guy right there, and brilliant. He's the chief scientific officer over at the Wellness Company. And I'm telling you, my doctor was kind of impressed. It's like, wow, where did you get this? I said, well, I got it from Dr. McCullough at the Wellness Company, and it turned out to really help get me through. And you guys know I sounded like death warmed over, and I give credit to the good Lord and the Wellness Company for getting me back on the air. So, again, if you haven't gotten these kits, you got to get one. And you people in Memphis especially, you know what I'm talking about. It was really hard to get some of the basic stuff because so many people are coming down with what they call the Memphis crud. It's terrible. All right, again, twc.health, and then do the / and Starnes. Promo code Starnes, it's going to save you 10%. And if nothing else, folks, it's good to have it because you never know when you're going to come down with whatever. And as you heard Dr. McCullough say, this bronchitis thing may actually be some sort of a Chinese pneumonia or something. So you just gotta be prepared. You never know when you're going to come down with the sniffles. All right, folks, so we've got to take a quick break. Coming up, the Anti-Defamation League is coming after our friends over at Libs of TikTok and Chris Rufo. We're going to tell you about that. We're going to check in with our friends at the Daily Signal. We're also going to be taking your telephone calls. 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. In the meantime, head over to the website, ToddStarnes.com. We've got some great stuff for you to read. We'll be right back, America.
Hi, my name is Peg. I'm a wife, mother, and grandmother. I love being with family. We have so much fun doing things together, and that is really the priority of my life. Family is so important to me, and I want to stay healthy so that I can continue to do the things that I enjoy doing with all of them. I try and exercise and eat well, and balance of nature just helps me to put it all together and take me over the top. I really am happy that I came across it, and I've been taking it for probably 5 years, and I will continue to take it. I would recommend Balance of Nature. It's so easy to do every day. I feel great, and who doesn't want to feel great?
Go to balanceofnature.com and get 35% off plus a free fiber and spice supplement as a preferred customer by using discount code TODD.
When it comes to vaping, the truth can get clouded. So let's make it clear. Vaping is not safe for kids, teens, or young adults. It's just not.
Because vaping can put microscopic particles into your lungs.
And dangerous things like metals and volatile organic compounds into your body.
And nicotine, the same highly addictive substance found in regular cigarettes.
Nicotine can harm a person's brain development through their mid-20s.
Affecting learning, memory, attention, and impulse control, and priming the brain for other addictions.
Vaping products also come in kid-friendly flavors that can make them appealing to youth.
And many kids also use other drugs, like marijuana, in vaping devices.
With appealing flavors, high nicotine levels, and lots of promotion on social media,
many kids think vaping is harmless, but it's not.
So talk to your kids about the risks of vaping, because when you talk, they hear you.
For more information, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Hello, Americans. I'm Todd Starnes. Stand by for news and commentary next.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute, does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code GPS for a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code GPS for a $5 bonus.
The Veterans Benefits Administration ordered a Christian staffer to remove a plaque from her desk that read, "Not today, Satan, not today." It appears, good listeners, that the VBA under President Joe Biden is pro-Lucifer. The Military Religious Freedom Foundation was the first to report on the incident. One of their clients was triggered by the sign, and that's when the MRFF raised unholy you-know-what. The unnamed VBA employee wrote in a letter that he noticed the sign when he was summoned for a meeting with his supervisor, who just happened to be a Christian. Now, the triggered vet claimed he was the victim of religiously motivated hostility and reached out to the MRFF. They tell the Christian Post the sign was a noxious example of trying to express a particular religious view, but not nearly as noxious as a nonprofit dedicated to bullying Christians and defending Satan. I'm Todd Starr.
The Todd Starnes Show begins in 4 minutes. Todd Starnes Show begins in 2 minutes. The Todd Starnes Show begins in 1 minute.
Studio in Memphis, Tennessee. It's America's favorite gun-toting, Bible-clinging, deplorable American.
That's us. That's right. I love this American ride.
Todd Starnes.
Yes. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Hour 3 of The Big Show. You got to love Babylon Bee. We have just posted this on our live show blog over at toddstarnes.com. You got to go check it out. This is the breaking news headline from the Babylon Bee. Ted Cruz grows out mutton chops in preparation for civil war. It's actually, shockingly, it's a good look for Ted Cruz. I would encourage you to go over and check it out over on the live show blog at toddstarnes.com. Senator Cruz just responded, fact check, true. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen, as we get closer and closer to what we are now calling the war of federal aggression. Ted Cruz growing out his mutton chops. Wow. You know, the question facing a lot of people, and by the way, welcome to all of our viewers that are watching us on Newsmax 2, the simulcast of the last hour of the show. Always good to have you folks with us. But the issue facing a lot of Americans now is, what do we do? If we are actually heading towards a path, going down a road that could lead to, and for lack of a better term, civil war, but it's really a war. If we are going to head down that path, where are your allegiances? Do you stand with the good people of Texas, or do you stand with the Biden administration and the communists who currently control our government? Who do you stand with? Where does your allegiance lie, America? By the way, Joy Reid, who she's the MSDNC chick who's got the Donald Trump hair, she's now weighing in on all of this. And, of course, when it comes to Joyless Reid, who has culturally appropriated a white person's hairdo, she is now bringing up race. Let's take a listen.
And very quickly, this massive resistance, it sounds like the old Southerners who said that we will resist integration by any means necessary, that Chip Roy language. How does that read inside of the Latino community?
I mean, it's very simple. You know, if you're the Republican Party, you're allegedly the party of laws and order, and you're essentially telling local authorities to break the law. No, so I think once again, going into this image of, you know, who is the party of law and order and who is the party for democracy, I think that's where we all have to highlight the hypocrisy, regardless of the politics. They're essentially telling people to break the law.
All right, that's Joyless Reid over at MSDNC trying to make this about race when in fact, and I know we have a lot of listeners and viewers in Texas who are Hispanic. And if you are Hispanic and you live in a border state, you are among some of the fiercest critics of this open border because it's the legal Hispanic community that is suffering the most in the border states. If you are a black citizen of Chicago, it is you currently suffering at the hands as a result of the Democrats and their policies. You are suffering because the illegals are being given preferential treatment. So we're going to be opening up the phone lines this hour of the program. Do you stand with the state of Texas? A number of states are now aligning themselves. The most recent, the state of Alabama. Right now, not every Republican governor has signed on board here, but a majority have, and we'll keep you updated if any other states. I know Grace Baker's watching this, monitoring the announcements coming out. I will say that here in Tennessee, my governor, Bill Lee, has already announced that the Tennesseans will be in the fight. Our telephone number is 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. Here is Greg Abbott, cut 16.
Texas is doing is just very simple. And that is because the Biden administration has really, truly abdicated its responsibility to secure the border and enforce the laws. Texas, very simply, is securing the border. And so we put up the razor wire that you were talking about, Bill, and we put up all these barricades that actually have denied illegal entry. And as you pointed out also on that screen, that there are criminals coming across our border. Texas has a right as a state to stop criminals from coming into our state, to make arrests of those criminals. And we have National Guard as well as Texas Department of Public Safety officers who are there to make those arrests and to deny illegal entry. And Joe Biden actually does have an option here. Joe Biden's option is to enforce the laws of the United States and stop this illegal entry.
And the governor's got a great point here. By the way, the governor and a lot of people are like, well, they're in defiance of the Supreme Court. No, they're not, ladies and gentlemen. The Supreme Court ruled that the Biden administration has the authority to take down the fencing, to take down the barriers. They did not issue an order banning the governor from erecting more border barriers. So there's no defiance of the Supreme Court here. The question is, what's going to happen if Joe Biden sends in the border agents, the federal agents, to cut down that wire? Will they be arrested? Now, according to state law, that razor wire is state property. So if they're going in and vandalizing state property, will the Texas Rangers arrest the federal agents? And I think they should. The other issue, and you're finding some Democrats up on Capitol Hill now calling for the president to federalize the Texas National Guard. I'm just going to flat out tell you that's not going to fly. I'm not a Texan, but I sincerely doubt that the good people of Texas are going to allow their National Guard to be taken over by Joe Biden. All right, let's go to the phone lines here. 901-260-5926 is our number. Let's start in North Carolina. Patty, listening to us on WSIC. Hi, Patty. What's going on?
Hi, Todd. How you feeling?
Patty, I'm doing great thanks to my emergency medical kit I got from the wellness company. I'm doing dandy.
God. That's good. Because I feel sorry for you because you're always sick.
Well, I'm not always sick, Patty. I just have, when I have bronchitis, I can't talk.
Well, you know what? I'm just getting over the flu, so I should talk, huh? Anyway.
Patty, stop busting my mutton chops.
Hey, let me tell you something. You know what? You know how you get rid of these people? Put Donald Trump on the border.
Patty, how about this? President Trump giving a rally in Eagle Pass, Texas. Could you imagine that?
You know what? You just, you know what? You can't get any. It's great. I think that would be great. But I'm thinking, you know what? Those people will turn around so quick if they've seen him standing there.
I could see the President Trump, up on this huge stage, massive flags, that beautiful sky there. You're at the border. It would be like a speech out of Independence Day when we were fighting another alien invasion. This could be a defining moment in the campaign. Do not be surprised if Donald John Trump decides to head down to that border.
Well, you know what? I'm going to say something. You remember, in 2020, COVID really got to him, and so did the lying about the laptop. You know what? This is Joe Biden's COVID. He's going to lose because of this.
Patty, he is going to lose. I don't think Joe Biden would have I don't think he would have the courage to follow through. I think Biden stands down here, and unless Barack Obama intervenes, and there may be some thinking that if there is some sort of an armed conflict between Texas and the government, that somehow that would be a good thing for the Democrats. I would sincerely disagree with that.
Right. And but I'm saying this is Joe Biden's COVID of 2024.
Patty, I think you may be right there. Patty, good hearing from you, and thank you for hanging out with us. Let's go to Robert in North Carolina, listening to us on WHKP in Hendersonville. Hi, Robert. What's on your mind today?
Well, everyone's, a lot of people wonder what the truth is. If you want to see Congress in action, go to C-SPAN, and you'll see that Biden several times has put in bills for strengthening border security, and the Republican Party downs it. They reject it the same way they did with Obama. And then you guys can come on the radio and tell your stories.
What do you mean? What stories? What do you mean? What do you mean stories, Robert? What do you mean by that?
What you're saying, that
Are you saying I'm not being honest with my audience? Is that what you're saying?
He wants to let all these people go through the border.
No. Hey, Robert, I'm going to let you finish, but hold on. Are you suggesting that I am not being honest with my listeners?
Well, it's a generalization. I just started listening to you, and what do you? I'm just making a statement here. If people want to see what's happening with the government, go to C-SPAN. You'll see congressmen talking to each other. And like the belabored issue with Hunter Biden, guess what? 2 weeks ago, he came into the Senate live, right? The country could see it. And he said, question me. Guess what? You could hear crickets. There was no
question. Sir. Robert, I'm going to stop you right there, Robert. Robert, I'm going to stop you and correct you because that's not accurate. All he was asked to do was to sit down as previous sons of presidents have done, Donald Trump Jr. being one of them, sitting down for a deposition. Then, after the deposition, he would be questioned before Congress. But Hunter Biden refused to do that. Instead, he showed up unannounced with a film crew to sit on the front row of that hearing, and then got up in a huff when Marjorie Taylor Greene started to speak and stormed out. It was all planned. It was for whatever kind of a documentary they're working on. But Robert, that is what happened, not how you just described it.
Hunter Biden. They wanted him back in a private committee room.
No, it's called a deposition, Robert. It's called a deposition, and Donald Trump Jr. sat for a deposition. Why can't Hunter Biden do that?
I don't know if they asked him.
No, well, of course they did. That's the whole argument here. He's refusing to sit for a deposition.
Okay.
Well, I mean, look, Robert, we appreciate dissent on this program, but we want you to come armed with the facts. And the fact of the matter is Hunter Biden has refused to sit for a deposition. And I'd like to know the reason why. Robert, we got to skedaddle. Appreciate the call. Good try. And get your facts together and give us a call back one of these days. All right, 901-260-5926. This is the Todd Starnes Show.
Triggering microaggressions from coast to coast. You're listening to Todd Starnes.
What happened? From the studio that brought you Sound of Freedom, how many worlds would you cross to get back to the one you love?
Where's my wife?
Work for me and get back with the woman that you love.
I think the truth is that you're a liar.
We'll find my Molly.
The Shift, rated PG-13, may be inappropriate for children under 13. In theaters now. Use promo code SHIFTRADIO for 10% off your ticket order. Valid at all participating theaters. Limit one per customer. Redeem at angel.com/radio and Adam Tickets.
Well, our good friend Mike Lindell is back at it again. Hello, everybody. I'm Todd Starnes. Mike Lindell not only created the best pillow, but now he's created the best towel in the world. That's right. Mike Lindell found the best towel company right here in the USA. They have proprietary technology to create towels that feel soft but actually work. And they're all made with USA cotton. They come with the MyPillow 60-day money-back guarantee. Get this, folks. You're going to get a 6-piece set, 2 bath towels, 2 hand towels, 2 washcloths made with USA cotton, soft yet absorbent. Normally $109.99, now just $39.99. All you need to do is go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener special, and get deep discounts on all MyPillow products, including the towels. Just enter the promo code STARNS or call 800-839-8506 for these great radio specials. That's 800-839-8506. Use the promo code STARNS. Hello, Americans. I'm Todd Starnes. America is in a funk, and that's why I wrote our daily biscuit, Devotions with a Drawl. It's a collection of inspirational and encouraging and hilarious stories about exceptional Americans who are doing good deeds, stories about faith and family, God and country. I do have hope for America because my hope is not based on a political party. My hope is built on a much higher power. Our daily biscuit, it's a buttermilk biscuit for the soul.
Email from school about the incident today.
Scary.
Tell me about it. Did you have any idea that was going on?
None. I mean, you saw Derek at the game last night, too. Did you have a clue?
No, but you know, teachers like me Parents, we don't always know as much as you guys do. Kids hear first about what's going on with other kids.
Half the time, it's rumors.
It can be hard to tell sometimes, but if you're ever concerned about a friend who's having trouble with alcohol, prescription drugs, bullying, violence, anything, you need to tell an adult. Mom or me, a teacher, coach, school counselor, someone you know and trust.
Dad, no kid is gonna tell an adult about that kind of stuff.
I get it, but if we don't know, we can't help. Speaking up about a problem, that's what helping a friend is all about.
For more information, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. We all make choices about alcohol. Kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad. Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
Hey, Em, remind me about that party again?
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations, and they want honest answers in everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path, because when you talk, they hear you. Learn more at underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how, and we tell them with honest conversations that let them know what we expect. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. Kids need to know the dangers and how to avoid them. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be taken without a prescription and never shared with friends or family. It's dangerous and illegal. So talk with your kids, because when you talk, they hear you.
Hi, we're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that our daughters have what they need to grow and learn. But that isn't the case for nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. that struggle with hunger.
Childhood hunger is a heartbreaking reality that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and provides it to families and children in need.
You can help kids in need in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
When you went car shopping, you meant business. You aced vehicle history searches and test drives. You out-salesmaned the salesman. Now you've got your wheels. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. With 401k tips and smart saving strategies, you'll have the info you need to get more for your future. Go to aceyourretirement.org, because when it comes to speeding past financial challenges, you're an ace. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
All right, sitting here, I'm texting back and forth with the staff. We're gearing up for the big book launch. Very excited. We're going to be doing a massive book launch party in Memphis, Tennessee, and I'm just telling you, it's going to be pretty darn awesome. It's kind of outside of the box what we're going to be doing, and there'll be an opportunity for maybe some of you folks to win some tickets to the shindig, but we're going to have a lot of fun, and we'll be telling you more about that in the coming days. All right, we have full lines, and we're going to do our best to try to get to as many as possible. Let's go to BT, hanging out with us in Whitehaven, Tennessee. KWAM, our flagship station. Hi, BT, what's on your mind?
Well, I was just thinking about the system. Who should I vote of the two evils? Should I vote for Biden or should I vote for Trump? Both of them got issues now. Neither one of them they both got problems. Now, if I vote for Biden, then I have a chance for him to let the gate wide open again and let crooks and gangsters and drug people come on in here. If I vote for Trump, then I'm thinking about his ultra-conservatism of make America great again. Some of my friends think that he means make America white again. Some of my friends and people, those are issues, and some of those people that I'm listening to, both of them, and some of them say Trump want to take things back to what when you call conservative. I remember when I was about 12 or 13 years old, and I started listening about liberal and conservative. The conservatives was Wallace, Goldwater, Stennis. Now, some of the stations and things praise the conservatives. It doesn't mean that you're conservative about certain things, but if you're a conservative and you racist, then you like Goldwater, Wallace, Stennis, and
well, BT, let me answer your question here, and I think that's a fair question. I'm sure our listeners, you're going to spark some interest among our listeners on this one. Donald Trump is not a conservative. He is a populist. He is, I mean, when you go down the culture war issues, he is probably a lot more liberal than a lot of the evangelical Christians who would support Donald Trump. That being said, Donald Trump wants to make everybody be able to claim and live their American dream. When you look at the number of black voters who now indicate they will support Donald Trump over Joe Biden, I saw a number 20% a couple of weeks ago in the polling data. That tells me that the Democrat Party has failed to deliver on the promises they have made to the black community and the Hispanic community over the years.
I think you're right about that. And a lot of my friends and relatives now going to vote for Donald Trump.
Is that, you see,
Because,
BT, I would love for Trump. I would love for Trump to come to Memphis, Tennessee, and do a rally because I believe there are so many more blacks who are supporting Trump. They may not even be a Republican, but they're just sick and tired of what the Democrats have done, and they're saying enough is enough.
Well, at open borders like that, Trump did try. Biden got the gate open, and they tell me some places like big cities like New York, they're getting better treatment, opened up motels and things like that, and giving them welfare and their children, which poor white and poor blacks cannot get it. I'm blessed to have been a retired railroad man. I'm in pretty good shape. But I'm talking about the poor blacks and the poor whites on the street.
BT, when you look at the Chicago South Side and those town hall meetings where black citizens are enraged because they're moving the illegals into their communities, and they understand what's about to go down. And I think, again, Republicans ought to be going into those communities. And, BT, I know that you guys have launched a Republican club in Whitehaven that meets over at the beautiful brand new YMCA. They're going to be having a gathering tonight, as a matter of fact. I'm going to be out there because, you know, that's where our family came from, Whitehaven. I want to see that community and that neighborhood thrive. And again, it's really not a matter of political parties. It's a matter of who is going to get out there and bust your butt and shove the federal government aside so we can all live that American dream. BT, I got to run. We are super late for a break, but it is great to hear from you, and I'm glad you're doing good. But he's absolutely right, folks. There are a lot of people out there who have voted Democrat because that's what their grandmas did and great-grandmas and great-great-grandmas. Those days are over. What Lyndon Johnson did to the black people in America is unforgivable. But there's a way out, and Donald Trump is out there with that message, and I do believe, and look, I get it. Donald Trump is not, you're not going to agree with him on everything, but there are a lot of things you can agree with him on, and that's what you need to think about when you go and vote on Election Day. All right, we've got to take a quick break here, folks. Again, 901-260-5926 is our telephone number. We have full lines right now, so keep trying if you're getting a busy signal. We're going to get to those calls. In the meantime, head over to Amazon. Get yourself a pre-ordered copy of Twilight's Last Gleaming, Can America Be Saved? That's going to be a great book. I'm excited for you to read it. We'll be right back, folks.
Where will you be when you realize the value of your white privilege? Will it be somewhere in the middle of Appalachia?
Because you're white, someday all this will be yours.
But Daddy, I don't want a trailer without wheels or dogs.
Don't get uppity with me, boy.
Will you find out on the side of the road?
License and registration.
Don't you notice something about me, officer?
No.
I'm white. I'm special. I have privileges. And look, it's right here on my license. You know, you should use your privilege.
Hey, got another nut, Eddie. Call for backup.
Or late on a Friday night.
Oh, and did I tell you I was white?
Get lost.
Where will you be when you realize the true value of your white privilege?
I said get lost.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt US Kids, and the Ad Council.
My name is Sue Smith. I'm 38 years old, and I work at a graphic design company. Which is funny, because I couldn't even draw a stick figure when I was a kid. But I met someone who told me, you know what? You can do anything if you really want to. And if the teenage me were here, she'd tell you,
I wouldn't be into drawing and art if it wasn't for big brothers, big sisters. Most kids from my neighborhood don't get into art. They get into trouble. But I was lucky because my big sister showed me early on that I didn't have to be like most people. And to the young me,
that meant a lot. My big sister's name is Sheila, and Sheila is the reason that this 8-year-old grows up to have an amazing job as a graphic designer.
Whether you donate money or time, you're helping Big Brothers Big Sisters help a child, and that can last a lifetime. Start something today at bigbrothersbigsisters.org. Brought to you by Big Brothers Big Sisters and the Ad Council.
From the vantage point, Mafatu saw 6 war canoes drawn up on the beach, but what held the boy's eyes in awful trance were the figures springing and leaping about the flames, darting, shifting, bounding toward the sky, the eaters of men. Cannibals. Firelight glistened on their oiled bodies, on flashing spears and bristling decorations. Mafatu watched the strange scene, powerless to move, and he felt doom itself breathing chill upon his neck. In that very instant, he heard a crashing in the undergrowth. 4 figures were tearing toward him through the jungle. He could see them now. He turned and ran blindly down the trail, slipping, sliding, stumbling, his breath all but choking in his throat. Only one thought gave him courage as he ran. His canoe ready and waiting. If only he could reach it before the savages overtook him. Explore new worlds. Find out what happens next by reading the book Call It Courage by Armstrong Sperry. For other great book ideas, visit literacy.gov. A message from the Library of Congress and the Ad Council.
When it comes to vaping, the truth can get clouded. So let's make it clear. Vaping is not safe for youth.
Because vaping can put microscopic particles into your lungs.
And dangerous things like metals into your body.
And nicotine, which can harm a person's brain development through their mid-20s.
With appealing flavors, high nicotine levels, and lots of promotion on social media.
Many kids think vaping is harmless, but it's not.
So talk to your kids about the risks of vaping.
Because when you talk, they hear you.
Learn more at underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling on it.
The dad joke. Corny, groan-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
What did the buffalo say when he dropped his son off for school? Bye, son.
So take a moment to make your kid laugh, because dad jokes rule. Make your kid laugh today. Go to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Todd Starnes radio program. We also want to welcome all of our great listeners on WOCA in Ocala, Florida, now broadcasting our show live, noon to 3 Eastern. We're mighty thankful for that. Now, if you are listening to us in Ocala, give us a call because we're going to hook you up with a Todd Starnes radio show prize package. Again, our telephone number, 901-260-5926, and that is for our listeners in Ocala, Florida, on WOCA, 901-260-5926. Well, an explosive report, an exclusive report coming from our friends over at the Daily Signal. This is the headline: Anti-Defamation League alerts law enforcement to Matt Walsh, Chris Rufo, and libs of TikTok. What in the world is going on? Well, let's talk to the writer of that incredible piece. She is a senior reporter at the Daily Signal, Mary Margaret Olahan. Mary Margaret, so happy to have you back with us.
So happy to be back here.
All right. Well, good job, by the way, for exposing all of this nonsense. But I find it ironic that the ADL has a problem with the libs of TikTok, which happens to be run by a wonderful, lovely Jewish lady.
That's a great point. Yeah, this story was really interesting to us. We were able to report on it because the Oversight Project, which is part of the Heritage Foundation, they FOIA'd the Washington State Fusion Center, and it turns out they got this email showing that the ADL was flagging online amplifiers of LGBTQ plus hate, or so-called, as extremists for law enforcement. And so we did a little digging, and it turns out that this email that the ADL was sending to law enforcement very closely mirrors a blog post about Matt Walsh, about Libs of TikTok, Chris Rufo. It even mentions Blaze Media. And it talks about how all of these people are pushing extremist content that is dangerous. And you know, Todd, we're very aware of where this goes, right? Even if we didn't have more information here, the fact that the ADL is saying that this content is dangerous should raise red flags. But it gets worse because we know that the ADL has partnered with GLAAD in an effort to flag misinformation and extremism for law enforcement, including the Washington State Fusion Center. And the Washington State Fusion Center is funded by DHS and DOJ. So that is also an area of concern. But this story we found really interesting because of this direct connection between this far left group, ADL, and law enforcement.
And Mary Margaret, look, I've been covering this for years. Back when I was at Fox News, we focused on the Southern Poverty Leadership Center, which the organization out of Alabama. My brain just stopped working. The SCLC and their attacks on evangelical groups like Family Research Council, American Family Association. And you had members of the military that were telling officers, you can't be participating in these organizations because they're hate groups. And that's what concerns me about this kind of nonsense is that the government, they're not paying a lot of attention to this. And, you know, they're not going to do a deep dive onto Matt Walsh or the Libs of TikTok. And one day, you know, people are going to get in trouble because they follow Matt or, you know, the Libs of TikTok pages.
Yeah, actually, my colleague Tyler O'Neill has done some phenomenal reporting on the SPLC. I believe he wrote a book on them and their connections to exactly what you're saying, Todd, flagging different groups as hate groups or extremist groups. We saw recently how the FBI was targeting traditional Latin Mass Catholics at the behest of the SPLC. And there's a whole bunch of other groups, usually religiously affiliated, that have come under the SPLC's microscope, often undeserving. And in this case, the ADL seems to be fixating on people who are fighting transgender ideology, specifically when it comes to children. So Matt Walsh, for example, doesn't think that children should be allowed to undergo transgender surgeries or undergo hormonal interventions when they are still children. And these interventions, as we know, are going to change their bodies for the rest of their lives. Walsh doesn't believe those things should happen. But because he's talking about this publicly online, this rhetoric is being labeled as extremism and flagged for law enforcement. That raises some serious questions if law enforcement is looking into that and into those tips about who else could come under the microscope.
Look, this is a great question, and I suspect that you guys are just really, this is just the tip of the iceberg, and there's a lot of other stuff happening that I'm fairly certain you folks over at the Daily Signal are going to be able to uncover. My concern is, and it goes back to something, I know you interviewed the Heritage Foundation for your story, this weaponization of the government and the fact that government agents could use this fake news, this fake information out there and go after good law-abiding citizens.
Yeah, I think Mike Howell said it really well. He's the director of the Oversight Project that uncovered this email. He said the ADL is a key driver of government weaponization, and they provide the phony predication and intellectual cover in order to point the people with guns at their enemies. And, we see this with the SPLC and we're seeing it with the ADL, how, there's a direct route. They declare someone to be an extremist. They declare someone to be worthy of investigation. And then lo and behold, the FBI is investigating traditional Latin Mass Catholics. That correlation there has not gone unnoticed, and Republicans have done a lot of investigations and called for, repercussions for this kind of treatment of religious Americans. But it is escalating, and it has been for the past several years. And people who are older and wiser than me can tell you, like you, Todd, I'm sure, can tell me about how this has escalated over the past few decades. But it's something that we need to be keeping an eye on, because especially under this current administration, it seems that it is only going to get worse.
Are you saying I'm older or wiser, Mary Margaret?
That's for you to decide, Todd.
Oh, very well played. All right. Geez, Lou. Mary Margaret Olahan, she is a senior reporter for the Daily Signal. You had a chance to talk to Chris Rufo, who's a great guy and has really done some incredible journalism. I'm curious, what did he tell you, and what is the concern that Rufo shared with you?
Yeah, Rufo, he told us that the ADL is attempting to mobilize the government for the purposes of political persecution. He says that the fact that the ADL would like the government to investigate critics of transgender ideology under domestic terrorism provisions is outrageous. I particularly liked this quote from him. "If counterterrorism agents come knocking, I will tell them to pound sand. This is still America, and we still have the right to free speech."
He's spot on accurate, and that has to be our reaction to this and our response, because we cannot allow ourselves to be bullied, and we just cannot allow the government to stage this sort of a crackdown. Great reporting, Mary Margaret. We're going to have to leave it there, folks. We have a direct link to her story over on our live show blog, or you can just go right to the Daily Signal. Mary Margaret, always good hearing from you. Thanks a lot.
Thanks so much, Todd.
All right. Great lady right there, everybody. All right. I will say older and wiser. I'll just take that leap. All right. We're going to take let's get a call in, and then we'll take a break. Let's go to the beautiful state of Kansas. Jerry is hanging out with us on Newsmax 2. Hi, Jerry. What's on your mind?
Good afternoon, Todd. There was a guy that came on your show a little bit ago, and he was talking about C-SPAN, and if you want to see what's really going on, watch C-SPAN because Joe Biden is doing this and Joe Biden is doing that. What he failed to tell people is, Joe Biden might be trying to pull something on the border, and there are so many things attached to these things that the Republicans are not going to go for it because they're tired of the overspending, they're tired of the waste, they're just tired of America being crippled by Joe Biden and the Democrats. They're afraid of Donald Trump. They're afraid of Carrie Lake. They've tried to get her to come out and not run for Senate because they're cowards. They're afraid to face facts.
Jerry, that's a terrific point you raise, and I appreciate you calling in. I want to go to Richie in Florida, who wants to weigh in on that Carrie Lake situation you just mentioned. And Richie, they're telling us now that there is some reporting out there that this was actually concocted within the National Republican Senatorial Campaign. And if that's the case, we need an investigation here, and we got to get to the bottom of it. Your thoughts on this bribery situation?
Yes, you're right. And I just told when I come on the lady that it seemed like every year, every election, the Democrats try with the voting, everything, the stuffed ballots, this and that. This time you're seeing like a lot of money this election, and you see how Nikki Haley is taking the things. Sununu's out there with him. This guy who has probably making a lot of money goes out of the way to doing that because he probably got paid to try to get her off the ballot. And it seems like an inside job. And I said that before I even heard about what you just said now. And, you don't see Ronald McDaniel out there no more, going out there helping us, going on stage with Trump. You don't see nothing. So it's making me look like that there's something going on inside the Republican. I think when you said a couple months back, they're going to try something, I think maybe this is the way they're going to do it, is just bribe and pay off Republicans and somehow screw up this whole election again.
Well, Richie, you raise a great point, really an excellent point. And if they're doing this to Carrie Lake, who else are they doing it to? And how widespread is this sort of behavior? So it was really shocking when you listen to, and it's a pretty long audio conversation that was secretly recorded, but clearly the ex-GOP chair feared for his life. He was talking about, being worried about getting blown up in a car bomb. That's intense. But again, I think it goes to show you the level of aggravation right now that the establishment Republicans have with the America First movement. They have lost their party, and they are desperate, and desperate people do very dangerous things. Richie, appreciate that call. All right, let's go to John in Texas, watching us on Newsmax 2. Hi, John. What's going on in the great Lone Star State?
Well, a lot. I just have an incident. I heard some politicians suggest that a good American should take these immigrants into their own private homes and help them. I advise against that. I did that a few years ago. I took in a renter, a young man. He was very nice, clean, from Mexico. And to cut the story short, he was a hitman for the cartel.
What?
And I didn't know it. He came to Texas, Dallas, to kill another cartel member.
How did you find out that he was with the cartel?
2 homicide detectives came knocking at my door. He actually killed a guy in Dallas. This is verifiable. It was on that program 48 Hours, and this has been several years. It was on that program, and I think that one program was titled Avenging Angel. And what I was told is he worked for the cartel in Mexico, and this man, this hitman, came here to kill this guy because the guy killed a high-ranking cartel member.
Wow. Well, look, I don't want to get into the weeds of that, but I think the lesson here is don't be housing illegal aliens in your homes or your rental properties. Is that right, John?
Unless you can dent them real thoroughly.
Yeah, there you go. John, appreciate that call. Glad you're okay. Wow, that's not good. That is not good at all. By the way, here's Carrie Lake talking about the folks trying to bribe her. Cut number 3.
Who told Jeff DeWitt to bribe me? I don't know. I wish I did know. As a matter of fact, I've thought about it many a day since then, and I've laid awake at night wondering who it could have been, what group, what person. But isn't it sad that you could literally, for 24 hours, think about it, wonder, guess, and that our government is so corrupt. Washington, D.C., the people back east, as he said, is so corrupt that you could literally probably come up with a list of about 400 or 500 people and groups that are behind this. And that's the sad thing. And this is why I am getting into politics. I'm in politics. This is why President Trump is in politics, because we want to make sure that we root out that kind of corruption. We can't have that kind of corruption happening in Washington, D.C. And frankly, it starts in Washington, in D.C., and it moves down into capitals across the country, into the state houses, into the municipalities. And what happens is people run for office, and immediately they get bribed, they get blackmailed, and they become controllable. And this is what's wrong with our country.
All right, there you go. And, of course, the Tennessee Star, Michael Patrick Leahy, reporting that bribe came directly from the National Republican Senatorial Campaign. We'll keep you updated on that story. Got to take a quick break. Again, our telephone number, 901-260-5926. We'll be right back.
Sane talk in an insane world. Todd Starnes.
When you're working to protect and serve your community and country, you need a degree program that fits into your busy schedule. At Liberty University, you'll find just that. With 100% online program options and no set login times, you can advance your skills without sacrificing your commitments. Plus, we offer exclusive tuition rates and discounts to current and former service members, their spouses, and first responders. Learn more by texting DEGREE to 49595. That's DEGREE to 49595.
Hi, this is Todd Stearns, and I want to update you on my Calitrin journey. I'm still losing weight, I'm also sleeping a lot better, and I've got a lot more energy. Calitrin really is about more than just weight loss. Here's my good friend Elizabeth from Calitrin.
Yes, y'all, if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you're getting. So with Calitrin, make the small change to your daily routine. It's once a day, right at bedtime. It's going to help you rev up your metabolism so you can feel better, look better. You're going to be losing inches and losing pounds. And then, of course, it's great for the side benefits, too, like the sleep and the joint pain, the natural energy. So make that decision to do it for yourself today. Check out our website, toploss.com. We've got a big sale with $10 off every single bottle. It's at toploss.com, TOPLOSS.com, or call us 833-TOP-LOSS.
And be sure to use that discount code Todd. Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT.
Hi, I'm Lisa Edelstein. Every day on set, I help my fictional doctors save the lives of imaginary patients in the TV series House. Every day in his village in Ethiopia, Barasa Ware helps save the lives of real children as a local health worker. Like many children in the developing world, the ones in Barasa's village are threatened by common illnesses that kill millions worldwide. But unlike villages without a local health worker, the children of Barasa's village get the care they need to survive. Imagine how many more children could be saved with your help. When you help local health workers like Barasa, you help children survive all over the world. See where the good goes at goodgoes.org and find out all the ways you can help the good go further. Brought to you by Save the Children and the Ad Council.
And what you doing with your phone? Taking pictures?
No, I'm asking it questions.
Like what?
Hey, Bobo, do flowers have best friends?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, follow me. I want to show you something. Look, flowers do have best friends.
Whoa.
Some answers can only be found in nature. Discover the unsearchable. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a trail near you. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable, but how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Senator Ted Cruz of calling for civil war. This after Senator Cruz fact-checked the Babylon Bee. Babylon Bee said that Senator Cruz was growing mutton chops in advance of the war of federal aggression. Cruz is responding by saying Democrats don't have a sense of humor, and that's a good point. Now, you know, Dylan, and a lot of our new listeners may not realize, but we are related. And, you know, a good many of the Stearns family actually fought in the original War of Northern Aggression back in the day.
Wow.
Apparently, we were not good shots, but we were pretty good targets.
That's not good.
Most of our people got, whacked. It's not good. So anyway, I was just wondering if yours truly, and maybe we should open this up to the phone lines. What was it? Who is our ancestor This was the great Lieutenant Colonel Jedediah Obadiah Leroy Bubba Starnes, who I believe, I think that's correct. And he had the big beard. He had like the Duck Dynasty beard. So I'm wondering if we should all grow like, I don't know, Duck Dynasty beards as a way of preparing for hostilities.
I can't grow my beard that far.
Yeah.
But I'll work on it.
Work on it. You could get the mutton chops, though.
Yeah, I'll try.
Which are basically, that's kind of like what we call sideburns in Memphis, right? Those were the old Elvis sideburns.
This is true.
So we will open that up, ladies and gentlemen. Do you believe that in preparation for possible hostilities, should I grow out the beard? 901-260-5926 is our number. Real quick, you know what? Let's go to the phones here. Diane in Maine. You've got about 45 seconds here, Diane. Go for it.
Hi, Todd. I just want to say you've had a lot of bright people calling in for the last couple of weeks, brilliant people. We want to support Peter Navarro all the way. New York City looks like a pigsty, excrement all over the city. Just keep voting Democrat. And 3 words to the state of Texas. Remember the Alamo. I love you, Governor Abbott.
Diane, well said. What a way to end this show. You are a great lady. Diane, don't go anywhere. I want to give Diane a copy of Culture Jihad, How to Stop the Left from Killing a Nation. That deserves a book. All right, Diane, thank you. Folks, hang tight. We're just getting started. The TV show coming up. In the meantime, head over to the website, download the podcast, get the newsletter, all free of charge. And we're going to see you right back here tomorrow on the radio. You be good, America.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kathy Lee Gifford, and I've been blessed to have a wonderful career for a lot of years. People still come up to me all the time